So before, um, translation is in the back. If I can have the lady raise her hand. So, traducción simultánea al español está siendo proveída. Si alguien necesita traducción, la señora allá atrás, la señorita allá atrás tiene los dispositivos para poder tener ese servicio. Si por favor pueden ir con ella mientras continúa haciendo los anuncios para que puedan participar y escuchar la reunión en español. Also, at the last meeting, y lo voy a decir también en español, at the last meeting, translation devices were provided, but 2 were not returned. So, if you mistakenly walk away with one, please return them to any window here at City Hall. En la última junta que hubo aquí, alguien por error se llevó 2 dispositivos de traducción. Si por favor los tienen, regrésenlos aquí a cualquier ventanilla, aquí en la parte de enfrente, aquí en las ventanillas aquí del City Hall, se les agradecería bastante. Then also, starting next meeting, instead of going through Facebook, we're going to have a YouTube channel where you're going to be able to see the meeting live. So the city now has a new YouTube channel where you will be able to live stream or see that live stream from the city council meeting. And it will be on the first page, will be the link right there for you just to click on the YouTube stream. And that will be starting September 18, 2024. That's when we will switch from Facebook to this channel. And then also this link has been provided on the city's website, main page at the bottom left-hand corner. Para las personas que siguen estas juntas a través del Facebook, a partir de la próxima junta, que es en septiembre 18, será septiembre 18, vamos a cambiar al canal de YouTube, que lo pueden encontrar la cinta de enlace en la página de la ciudad y está en la parte de abajo, en la esquina izquierda. Esos son los anuncios antes de empezar. So, ya todos obtuvieron sus dispositivos y necesitan escuchar la traducción. Si no, ya continuamos. Gracias. Ya a partir de la próxima junta, a partir de septiembre 18. No sabré decirte si van a estar desactivados los comentarios, ¿verdad? Pero por lo mientras, las juntas se van a mover a YouTube, a un canal de YouTube, para que puedan seguirlas. Ahora sí empezamos la sesión regular de la junta. We're going to start the regular session. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, open session. Today is September, forgot the date, September 4, 2024, 7 p.m. Call to order, roll call, Ronnie.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Here.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. If now we can get up and to do the pledge. If I can have the two children right here in front, if you can come over here so you can help me do the pledge. All right. So when I say begin, you're going to start the pledge with me, right? Facing the flag. Okay. Come over if you want to. You tell me when.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So now for the invocation, you can remain standing. I know I have Pastor Sasueta. Oh, there he is. Pastor Sasueta, you can lead us on the invocation, please.
City Council members and citizens of Calexico, good evening. What a blessing to see so many families gathered here tonight. I am truly blessed to see you all here today. And I want to say this. I pray that the blessings of the Lord be upon you all. Amen. Before we pray, I want to read out of Jeremiah 29, verse 7. It says this: "But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare." And that is our prayer tonight. Amen. Let's go before the Lord. Father in heaven, thank you, God, that we can approach your throne of grace through our Lord Jesus Christ, through what he has accomplished on the cross. And Lord, I am blessed here tonight as a pastor, Lord, to see so many families, children here gathered. God, I pray, Lord, as this passage declares, God, for their welfare. I pray, God, a blessing upon the leadership of the city, the council members, their staff, the families that are represented here tonight, and the children, Lord. May you always have your blessings upon them, your hand of grace upon them. And God, we ask a blessing in this meeting tonight, and we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Sasueta. Closed session announcements, Carlos?
Thank you, Mayor. City Council met on the closed session items described on this evening's agenda. We received direction, but no reportable actions were taken. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could just speak up a little bit louder, closer to the microphone, so the translator in the back can hear us. Thank you. So now we're going to move on to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. Councilmember Victor Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Ron. And now we're going to move on to presentations. The first presentation goes to proclaiming and memorializing Mr. Tony Tirado. And I know we have family members here, so if I can just read a few of the details of his bio. I know this is not even justice to read because it doesn't include the impact that he had in our community. But I will go ahead and read part of his bio. Whereas the passing of Tony Tirado has brought immense sorrow and loss to people throughout the community, and whereas Mr. Tirado was born and raised in Calexico of immigrant parents from the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, he attended Calexico schools. He and Alicia, his wife of 46 years before her passing, raised 5 sons. Mr. Tirado retired from the United States Postal Service after serving 36 years, and from the National Guard, where he served for 42 years. He also served as a volunteer firefighter for 13 years, and whereas Mr. Tony Tirado liked to get involved with the community, his passion to make a difference began in 1976, where he held the following positions throughout his lifetime. From 1976 to 1980, Calexico Unified School District Board of Trustees Chairman for 1 term. From 1980 to 1994, Calexico City Council Mayor for 4 terms. 1980-1994, League of California Cities Chairman, Imperial County League Division, 1 term, and 1985-1994 Division Director. 1982-1994, and 2000 and 2003, Imperial Valley Association of Governments member. 1990 and 2000-2003, Imperial Valley Local Transportation Chairman 1 year, and 2000-2003, it was a member of this commission. 1993, Southern California Association of Governments, SCAG, Committee on Transportation and Communication. 1993, Southern California Joint Powers Association. 1986-1993, Border Trade Alliance member and director. 1994-1998, Border Trade Alliance liaison for the city of Calexico. 1999 to 2003, Imperial County Board of Supervisors, District 1, Supervisor 2001, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors. 2001 to the present, until his passing, member of the Imperial County Democratic Central Committee, and he was a chairman of that committee. 2012 to 2019, Board of Directors, California's 46th District Agricultural Association. 1995 until his passing, Calexico Elks Lodge number 1382, member, and 2004 present, until his passing, trustee and chairman. 1956 until his passing, Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, and he served in multiple committees. Now therefore be resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico hereby expresses its deepest sympathy at the passing of Mr. Tony Tirado, and by proclamation memorializing for a lifetime of distinguished services to the City of Calexico and all of his residents. In witness thereof, I here until affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on this 4th day of September 2024. Before we go on to present this proclamation to the family, if I can have just the council members, maybe if you want to say a few words on behalf of to the family, and if you had any interaction with Mr. Tirado, maybe some of the memories, this is the time.
My condolences to the Tirado family. I grew up with Danny Tirado, grandson of Mr. Tony Tirado, and my most fondest memories of Mr. Tirado is always seeing him and his wife at church on Sundays. Thank you so much.
I've known Mr. Tony Tirado for many, many years. He worked at the post office with my father. They were partners in crime. They did really well together. We're both councilmen together. I know David, the son. We worked together as police officers in the city of Calexico. Tony had a great heart, a beautiful heart, and a good man to be around. Condolences to the Tirado family for the loss.
Thank you, Victor. Yes, good evening. First and foremost, my condolences to the family. My interactions with Mr. Tirado are all smiles. I knew he loved Calexico, and he represented Calexico in the public when he was elected. He loved Calexico so much that he was really passionate about everything he did, and I learned a lot from him. And the times that I did have a chance to talk with him when I was a police officer in Calexico, he always will call me. He always used to tell me, no matter what you do, Javier, it's always, tell the truth, make sure you protect the people, and be ethical, because we're looking out for you. So those are memories that I have that I hold dear. And I know we have Mr. Tirado, one of the sons here that he used to work at. He still works at the hospital. I think you're retired now. So congratulations on your retirement. And the fact that I know also Tony, when he was the sheriff deputy, also we worked in law enforcement. So he was a role model to his kids, and they all grew up to be somebody someday. And now it's an honor for me to have you here tonight and show respect for your father and the love you have for Calexico. Thank you.
Thank you, and I echo all those sentiments, and of course, our condolences to the familia Tirado, because he wasn't just a member of our community, but rather he was an anchor of this community. I had the pleasure of having conversations with him, and every time that you talk to him, what came out, it was the love for this city. It was the love for its people. And I think, in the same lights as Nene Torres, which this chamber's a name after, Mr. Tirado and all these individuals that came before us, that really set the foundation for all of us to exist as a community. This is the lasting legacy that we will forever, remember and will treasure. I know we have a lot of little ones here, but hopefully in the future, you will hear the stories, or you'll see on your local history of people, talk about people such as Mr. Tirado, Mr. Nene Torres, Mr. Legaspi, all these individuals that really, really had a mark in our community And for that, we paid our respects. And with that, I would like to call the family to come up. And if they would like to say a few words, you're more than welcome. If you're not able to do that, we'll understand that, but please, come on up. Javier's gonna take a picture.
Oh, first of all, thank you for being here, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. To all the honorable council people up here, thank you ever so much. It means so much to the family, and it's heartwarming what just happened here today. And everything that everybody said up here, hey, you know what? Thank you so much. Everybody that knew my dad, you know, there's no words when you lose, you know, a parent. But one thing I can tell you, besides what was said up here today, was it's a great father, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle, friend, mentor. My dad was a little bit of everything, and it hurts so much that he's not here anymore. But there is a legacy, and all of us up here, and including all the council members. One thing that my dad really loved was the community. The community, of course, included this family up here, and my dad considered so many of you family members also. With that, one more time, thank you ever so much. I appreciate everything that the city of Calexico did for my father too. It was a city that makes somebody like my dad successful. So one more time, thank you, and everybody, God bless.
I'll give a minute to Councilman Legaspi. I think he's going to. So now we'll move on to proclamation for library card sign-up month. Proclamation Library Card Sign-up Month. Whereas libraries are essential for the education and development of children, offering everything from preschool story times to college and career planning resources for high school students, nurturing literacy and a love for reading. Whereas libraries are committed to creating and maintaining diverse programs and collections that reflect the communities they serve, ensuring equitable access for all. Whereas libraries assist people of all ages in navigating life's complexities, offering access to research, information, and government services that enhance productivity and fulfillment. Whereas libraries boost the local economy by providing critical access to technology and training for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and students. Whereas during times of crisis, libraries and their staff play a vital role in supporting communities both in person and virtually. Whereas the shared resources provided by libraries help households save money, conserve resources, and reduce waste, offering a simple way to make a positive impact. Whereas the library card ignites creativity and empowers individuals to explore new interests and pursue lifelong learning. Whereas libraries uphold democracy by promoting civic engagement and the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas librarians and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate Library Card Sign-Up Month. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico proclaims September as Library Card Sign-Up Month, encouraging all residents to sign up for Library Card today. And witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and affix the official seal of the City of Calexico on the 4th day of September 2024. So if I can have Ms. Legaspi come up and get the proclamation. And also go get your library card. It's as small as this little card right here, so it doesn't take much. So here.
Are you kids ready? Can't hear you.
So now we're going to move on to recognition of the Calexico Little League 10U, 12U, and Junior Division. So this is a certificate from the City of Calexico, mayoral recognition, presented to Calexico Little League 10U, 12U, and Junior Division. Congratulations on becoming Imperial Valley Division champions. This is a remarkable achievement, and we celebrate your victory, and we celebrate all of you and the families. Of course, without them, you wouldn't be able to hit those home runs. So before we do that, I want to make sure that we bring up everybody somehow, all those teams, all those kids that are part of this teams, if they can come up for a picture, and if someone want to say something. All right. Team moms also, they're important too.
Yes.
They're the ones that prepare the snacks.
Team Mom, come on.
Oh, come on.
Remember, coaches do it from the love of the sport, not because there's anything to be made other than making our city proud and making sure that these kids love get to play the sport that they love. Calexico Little League would like to give a big thank you, first of all, to the community who came out to support us during our games. We'd like to thank you. You guys make a big difference when you show up to support these kids and they hear those cheers from the crowd. Let me tell you, it feels good, doesn't it, boys? So thank you, community members, for attending our games. We hope that this next season we get even more of you to attend. We hope that someday Calexico Little League games become yet again a pastime for families to go out and enjoy in the evenings. So we want to thank the community. Second, I want to thank our coaches for their dedication to the sport, to these children. Let's give them a round of applause. Like I said, we're very blessed to have coaches that are willing to donate their time and their effort and dedication to a sport that they love and that their children love. And we have several coaches who continue to come back even long after their kids are grown up, so we thank them for that dedication. And I want to thank the cabinet, of course, the Calexico Little League cabinet for helping to put everything together. But finally, I'd also want to thank the support of the City of Calexico, in particular to Parks and Recreations, because it is their participation with us. Pat, thank you. Ms. Chu, thank you. It is because of them that all of my competitive teams had a field to practice in, that they could have an established practice time and day. It had been a long time since we had that. So thank you to the City of Calexico as well. This is something that that you should take pride in as well, because you helped us get here. And we hope that we can continue to work together as a community so that we can continue to expand this sport, make it better for our kids in the community, so that everyone has access to playing baseball and has good fields to practice in. So we want to thank you for all your efforts, and we hope that we can continue to grow together. Thank you.
Mayor, do you mind if I say two words?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, Armando Real, president of Calexico Little League. I want to thank everybody again. I want to echo everything she said. Our vice president, Mrs. Perez. I want to thank Mr. Chuy Solano for all the help that he's done, his son as well. And as far as the city of Calexico, like I said, Parks and Recreation, Norma and Mrs. Chu, everybody that helped us out, we really appreciate it. The season was a success because the kids, I know you guys have minimal funds and resources for Parks and Recreation, because I know for many years the city has been broke, and you guys are doing as best as you can. Everybody wants me to come and say, hey, have them fix the fields, have them fix the lights. There's a lot of things that are needed on all our fields. And I just told them, you know what, if we can't fix a bulb here, I don't know if we can fix one at the baseball fields. But but I know you guys are trying, keep trying to help us as much as you can. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we move to soccer. I need a jersey, but I don't know if I can fit into any of those jerseys. So, yeah, well, probably next time. So now the city of Calexico presents a major recognition to Calexico Earthquakes soccer team for representing the city of Calexico and winning the Copa Alianza category 11-12 in San Bernardino, California. We celebrate these outstanding young athletes from the bottom of our heart. Congratulations. Please come forward. Who wants to hold it? All right. Team moms, coaches, el aguador, So let's give a round of applause.
Una, dos, tres, cheese.
All right. So, si alguien quiere decir unas palabras, ahorita es el momento de...
En inglés no, será en español por esta vez. Tenemos muchos papás que ya escucharon toda el consejo en inglés. En verdad yo quiero agradecerles mucho, más que nada primeramente a los papás, que sin ellos, sin el esfuerzo de llevar a los niños día con día a las prácticas, a los juegos, no podría lograrse estos resultados, estos campeonatos. La verdad, papá, niños, ahora nosotros como niños queremos darle un aplauso a los papás por agradecimiento. Si me ayudan, por favor, a darles un aplauso a sus papás. Y reconocer no solo el logro del campeonato de la categoría 2013 en la Copita Alianza, sino también los campeonatos internacionales que han puesto a Calexico en el mapa en todo California. Nos ha tocado a los coaches vivir que viene gente de Salinas, de San José, y nos preguntan dónde está Calexico, gente de Oxnard, de los torneos que hemos participado, y miran la calidad de nivel que hemos mostrado durante los torneos y dicen, hey, ¿de dónde son ustedes? ¿Dónde está Calexico? Yo siento que estos niños, con su esfuerzo, su dedicación, están poniendo el nombre de Calexico en el mapa. Quedaron campeones la categoría 2017 y 2016, campeones estatales de Baja California. Fueron las dos categorías, quedaron segundo lugar nacional a nivel de la República de México. Han ganado torneos en Cerritos Memorial, torneos en San Diego, competir en todas las finales en la Liga de Calexico. La verdad creo que este club está dejando el nombre de Calexico muy en alto, y sin el apoyo y el esfuerzo de la señora Carmen Estrada, la Liga CPAA, la verdad creo que esto no sería posible. Le queremos agradecer mucho nosotros como papás a la señora Carmen por estar siempre al día con día peleando por tener unas mejores instalaciones, peleando porque los campos tengan una mejor apariencia y los niños tengan un mejor parque, césped donde poder practicar este deporte que creo que está rindiendo frutos. Se ven aquí los niños, así como el Club Calexico Airways, como los demás clubes que participan en la liga. La verdad creo que tenemos una comunidad muy grande en este deporte y quisiéramos pedir que la ciudad de Calexico nos siguiera apoyando a que este deporte siguiera creciendo. Muchas gracias.
Yo de antemano pues quiero agradecer al concilio y esta vez aquí está una personita, la verdad, señora Alicia Fuentes y Luis Fuentes, que fueron los que nos ayudaron a hacer esta liga, que creyeron y confiaron en nosotros desde hace 15 años. Y me da gusto ver aquí a la señora Alicia, porque ellos fueron la base para que este programa surgiera. Y al igual ustedes, y a usted yo le agradezco de corazón lo que hizo con nuestros jóvenes que estaban ayudando para hacer un campo mejor, les llevó comida. Eso a mí me llena de satisfacción, que tuvo esa humildad y esa cortesía de llevarle comida a nuestros jóvenes que estaban ayudando en tener los campos mejores, y que no se les olvide que necesitamos el campo Córdoba, lo necesitamos en verdad. Calexico tenemos como unos 500 niños activos en soccer, y los otros equipos que vienen de todo el valle, estamos hablando casi de 3,000 jóvenes que están activos aquí, de 3 años hasta 30. Y gracias a todos, gracias papás, gracias coaches. Los coaches son nuestros niños chiquitos que empezamos cuando empezamos la liga. Ya ahorita ellos son pues unos papás y ya traen a los niños. Muchas gracias a todos por hacer posible esto.
Alguien de los niños campeones, ocupo que levante la mano y me diga unas palabras hacia la ciudad o hacia sus papás o hacia alguno de sus coaches.
2, 3, extra credit.
Thank you for Thank you the city for being here, for being for us, Calexico Earthquakes. We really appreciate you guys being here. We really like the tournament. Skibbity.
We'll just allow them to. Thank you. So now we're going to move on to the next item, which is also an informational item. And this will be a presentation. So informational item, Calexico West Port of Entry Traffic Circulation Plan, dated June 2019.
Good evening, council, members of the public, mayor. So this is one of the items that Ms. Tylinda had requested to bring back to the council regarding the congestion ICTC study from the traffic study back in 2017, 2018. I did invite Mr. David Aguirre. We do have Ms. Ramirez here as well for any questions. But just a little background on the request and information that Ms. Tylinda had requested. 2017-18, the Imperial County Transportation Committee, ICTC, in partnership with the Southern California Association of Governments, obtained funding through the Department of Transportation, Caltrans, to develop a traffic plan study due to the new port of entry. ICTC and SCAG hired KOA Corporation to prepare the traffic study plan, and multiple levels of agencies throughout the community assisted. ICTC, the City of Calexico, Caltrans, Southern California Association of Governments, Imperial County also assisted on this, the U.S. General Services Administration, and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, right? So what was the primary goal of the traffic study done back then? Was to develop an efficient mobility at the United States border crossing, which we currently completion of the port of entry, reduce traffic delays, as well as reduce the need for city staff to provide traffic controllers. And we've seen from then to now the constant use of traffic controllers that we do have on Cesar Chavez and 2nd Street. Another was to reduce traffic delays that impacts the business on Imperial Avenue, located on the central area of Calexico, provide traffic circulation strategies for the new Calexico West Port of Entry. So the project area included 2 major routes that could provide access to the form of the, access to Calexico East Port of Entry in 3 locations, correct? State Route 111, Imperial Avenue, Route 98, 2nd Street and Anza Road. And currently we know that Anza Road is not operable due to the Anza Bridge, and Cesar Chavez Boulevard, as well as Grant Street. So KOA Corporation reviewed the existing anticipated future conditions, collected data, conducted 5 technical working meetings, 3 with the community outreach workshops, traffic operations alternative 1A, 1B were implemented to address the traffic conditions during the construction efforts of the West Port of Entry. 2 alternatives were given after this study came out, correct? Balance the traffic flow to the port of entry, which was the port of entry access through Cesar Chavez with 3 lanes. Port of entry access through State Highway 111 with 1 lane, right? 3 going south, 1 going north. Alternative 2 was the port of entry traffic through Cesar Chavez Boulevard during the peak hours. The majority of the port of entry access would be relocated to Cesar Chavez Boulevard. A small amount of right turn access to the port of entry via 2nd Street. The westbound left turn Cesar Chavez would be restricted to Grand Street and 2nd Street, which are currently in operation. So it was recommended by the project team that the city consider implementing 2B because it addresses the city's goals of reducing city staff demands, which we currently have now with Calexico PD. For traffic controls, improve access to businesses located in the central area of Calexico by reducing travel delays on State Route 111. The project also recommended several additional improvements, such as implementation of intelligent transportation systems, such as coordinated signals, changeable message signs, and improved signal systems and signage. So those are some of the recommendations that were presented back in 2017-18, and we're currently going with a different option that I have provided all staff members, where we currently are using Cesar Chavez, 2 lanes going north, 2 lanes going south, and then with the right turn on 2nd Street, left on Imperial Avenue and all the way through 2011. There is the local traffic that does come through south on Imperial Avenue. We didn't want to affect those businesses that are on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, going south to Mexicali. So that's where we're currently at right now.
So based on the information provided, it doesn't really look like an actual alternative was implemented because they're all being implemented, right? So we have, so that's what I wanted more information on. We're not following the study, right? Not at all. Okay, and one thing I see is we have a lot of failing business. My request for this was, in essence, to try and figure out how to help the businesses on the right-hand side heading south, because they keep closing. Where Rosa's Plain Food was located, they keep closing. I see that to try to mitigate the traffic issues during peak hours, we are closing the entrances, the driveways to businesses, and they're being affected to the point where they keep closing, a lot of them on the right-hand side heading south. So I wanted this presented to council so that we could take a look at it again. I wanted information from the chief to see what feedback they provide in terms, and then ultimately also incorporate the factor of reaching out to the businesses and doing outreach and asking them what they think, and also circulating this and working with ICTC and any other factors that we might be able to incorporate into alleviating the traffic in hopes of helping the businesses on that side. So yeah, this is really great. Thank you for the presentation.
Which I do recommend exactly what you said, is to take it to the business owners that are on Imperial Avenue, right?
Yeah.
To circulate it throughout the community and get their feedback on what is needed to be done.
No, how they're being affected, so what their
Correct.
take is on it, and then kind of putting, I know you referenced the map you showed, putting it, like clarifying what is actually being done, because here it states, the traffic operation alternatives, but none of them are actually they're not being followed. And there's not 3 lanes, there's 2 lanes, and all
Correct.
kinds of
Good evening, Mayor and Council Member. Yes, well, ICTC did an awesome job of getting the traffic circulation plan up to date. As the acting city manager said, there was a lot of outreach and technical, but once it came back to council back then, council decided that they didn't want to affect the businesses on Imperial Avenue, so therefore they requested that we have 2 accesses to the west port of entry, which was Cesar Chavez and Imperial Avenue. I think what could possibly be the next phase is do an RFP for a traffic study consultant to come in and assist us, because if the city council were to want to try to re-establish either 2A or 2B, we would need to get a traffic engineer to come and assist us with the timing of the signal lights, with the striping, and make sure that both the fire and the police department have adequate spacing on Cesar Chavez to allow them for any type of emergencies.
Yeah, because when you get in there, you're stuck.
Correct.
You're stuck. So yeah, I'd like to see more information, possibly an RFP, because as it is right now with the alternatives that were provided for the traffic operations, we're not following any of them.
No, like I mentioned, it was.
Yeah, no, and that, how it was, and I guess it came back in 2019 and 2022, so that was then. But yeah, I'd like to see something done in terms of outreach for the businesses. Maybe that would be the first step to see how they're feeling before we go out to RFP for it, and see how they're being affected, because like I said, a lot of them are closing and a lot of them are relocating, so, and they're being affected by the closure.
Yeah, we can probably do some type of like a survey.
Yeah.
And then get their feedback, and if they are interested in doing just southbound traffic through Cesar Chavez, we can go through the process of hiring a traffic engineer to come and assist us with all the technical and cues that have to be done.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
I know we had a meeting with the West Side business people, Chief, with Morris. The project that you were working on the westbound traffic, you were working on it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. How is that flowing? How's that working out? Get on the mic.
So at the request of the businesses at the outlets and the ones in El Hoyo, they requested that we open up left-hand traffic coming into the United States to assist them with their businesses. We did a quick study, and we found that in an 8-hour period, about 30 to 40 vehicles turned left coming across from the new port of entry. Of course, this is taking into fact that it was closed for many, many years because of COVID, because the port of entry just wanted right turn only as soon as they left the property. So it might also be that they don't know yet, but we've maintained that left-hand turn lane coming into the United States to help the businesses out at their request.
Anybody else?
Yeah, me. Well, thank you for the report. So this is almost 6 years ago the study was made. A lot of things have changed, especially the population there at the business. And I don't see, unless I'm missing it here, but I don't see a bid commission report. That commission exists for the sole purpose. They should be invited to the table because they represent all the business owners, especially the ones on Imperial Avenue. So I think we missed that one, and I don't know if the study allowed for that, but I would definitely reach out to the bid. I think you're in the bid, right? Okay, so we have a representative here, and I don't know if there's somebody's going to speak on that on the right. Okay, good. Okay, but in terms of the report, I think it's important that we bring them to the table because they do represent that population, especially Imperial Avenue. I think having them on the table also would have been good for the businesses. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. And I just want to bring back, this was going to be part of my report, but since this is a topic that came up already, I know that Caltrans, and part of the report at that last ICTC meeting that we had last week, they also said that, in order for them to start making some changes, including the newly redone 98 portion, I mean, we need a traffic engineer. Right? We need to make sure that, we hire or we procure maybe consulting services so we can start working with them. So I agree with you, a lot of work needs to be done, but the work needs to be done now, and we need to procure the expertise because it's not just about, and I know I hear the frustration from a lot of residents, and I get the calls and I get the texts, you should start, sending traffic, down 98 and Cesar Chavez, thinking that it's easy as that, but there is more to that, right? So, and of course, we're dealing with, interstate that belongs to Caltrans. So also we need to engage with them. So I think as we move forward, I think all the comments here are very valid and they really are part of the solution that needs to be worked on, but we also need to engage, Caltrans. Because, I don't care how much work we do, but if we don't have literally their blessing, that could be also something that will hinder this effort. So in this conversation that we can have and when we procure any services to start addressing this issue, I think we need to have also Caltrans at the table. And also ICT, SCAG, based on that previous report from 2019, they were the ones that also helped us out with, the funding of this study. So maybe, David, that's something that maybe we can take back to the commission and see if there's any monies where we can work on updating this study. Like, Councilman Moreno said, Mayor Pro Tem, and a lot of things have changed, but we have a basis already. So maybe we could just enhance and revisit, and some of the things that we might be able to implement as soon as possible, if that's something that can be done. But that's where we need the experts. So I don't know, you approach that. They want to. Chime in.
You want to say? Whatever implementation we do have to get Caltrans approval. Why? Because the city of Calexico is very unique. We have both State Route 98 and State Route 111 that are the jurisdiction of Caltrans. I don't know, Dave, you want to add something else?
Good evening, everyone. Just so folks that don't know who I am, my name is David Aguilar. I'm the Executive Director at Imperial County Transportation Commission. So as Lily noted, there does need to have interaction with Caltrans in order to be able to implement some changes to how you access the port or leave the port. We've had extensive conversations with Caltrans about what this could potentially look like. So yes, the concept or the final concept of whatever the city ultimately wants to pursue in terms of port access needs to be reviewed and agreed upon by Caltrans. just in prior conversations with them about possibly modifying access to the port, they are willing to listen and review the traffic circulation plan, the ultimate final traffic circulation plan, to really kind of evaluate whether or not it might be feasible. So as Lily noted, the next step is likely to pursue a consultant to essentially prepare whatever that final concept is. And then that essentially would be ushered over to Caltrans for evaluation and discussion. And then, you know, the next channels of essentially kind of potentially considering what it might look like and moving forward with it would be ultimately implemented. But absolutely you would need to, without a doubt, engage with the business community to determine what the impacts might be to the business community if you do implement whatever it is.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Now we move on to public comments and public appearances. Not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commentators may be requested to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Ronnie, do we have any public comments?
Yes. First speaker is Luis Casillas, who has a general public comment and comment on item number 5.
Good afternoon, members of the council and members of the public. Luis Casillas, CPOA. We represent the police officers and your city dispatchers. I won't take much of your time. I hate repeating myself, but now that election is around the corner, some of you have been up there for 4 years and clearly failed your community. At this point, we still only have, there is times where we don't have any 911 dispatchers. When you call 911, we still only have 2 patrol officers patrolling the streets of Calexico. We are the lowest staffed police department in the Imperial Valley, and I would venture to say that we probably have the highest call volume. And every single one of you claims to support the police department, be part of the police department, and some of you do, and some of you have tried, and some of you have clearly failed. Won't even acknowledge the department. Some are ex-law enforcement that are just worthless. Like Mr. Moreno, who has done nothing for the police department. And so I'm here again to make you aware of the situation that we're in. And it's clearly a disservice to the community that you want to represent. And this has been going on for years and years and years. And I'll take this opportunity to chime on item number 5. I know that it's, and this is in reference to the city manager. Part of the reason why we don't have police officers is because we don't have the finances. And the reason we don't have finances is because you keep getting into litigation when you fire people out of spite, out of personal vendettas. Now, I'm not a big fan of Miss Scolio at all. But the times that I dealt with her, she was pretty fair, and she was a stickler to the rules. And I would venture to say that somewhere along the line, she was probably asked to do something that was out of policy or against the law, and that's probably why she got fired. And she's just another victim of the Calexico city politics, like I've been. And if you fire her, if you do or if you don't, you will have to pay her. And all you're doing is kicking that can down the road. And in 3 years, you'll have to pay her. And it's just not her pay. It's interest and compound interest. I know. I was part of that. It's a nice paycheck, but this is a situation that you guys create today and another council will have to deal with. And the people that it really harms are the citizens of Calexico. If you're gonna keep her, keep her. If you're gonna cut her loose, cut her loose. But take action on it. Take action. Do something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Gonzalez.
Good evening, citizens and members of the council. My name is Michael Gonzalez. I'm the vice president for the CPOA. I represent the Police Officer Association. The CPOA stands before you today to address the critical staffing issue facing our police department, which are having a profound impact on the safety and well-being of our community. We are currently missing about 20 police officers, a deficit that stretches our police forces dangerously thin, making it impossible to maintain the level of service our residents expect and deserve. We essentially have a police department. This shortage means that we have no dedicated investigators or detectives to pursue leads to solve crimes effectively. No motor or traffic officers to ensure safety on the roads, especially now for our students returning to schools and the coming holiday season. No downtown liaison officer to maintain order in one of the most vibrant areas of our city. Additionally, the implementation of the 2 officer and 1 sergeant per shift policy further intensifies the challenges by requiring officers to spread themselves even thinner after often responding to incidences without necessary support. Compounding these issues is the fact that the department's budget has been slashed. This drastic cut has not only prevented the police department from hiring the necessary officers, but has also left officers without a tactical team, which is essential for responding to high-risk situations. Our equipment is outdated, insufficient, or non-existent, putting both the officer and the public at a greater risk. The consequences of these cuts are evident in the rising crime rate throughout our city. Our officers are doing their best under extreme challenging conditions, but without the necessary resources and support, they are fighting an uphill battle. I urge the council to take immediate action to address these critical issues. Restore the funds that have been cut, prioritize the hiring of additional officers, and provide the necessary resources to ensure that our police department can effectively protect and serve our community. Don't wait until a tragedy happens to fix the problem. The CPOA has resorted to seeking private funds to purchase essential life-saving equipment for our officers, a responsibility that should squarely fall on the city. This speaks volume about the city's failure to adequately support our police forces. Secondly, there's a disturbing lack of transparency and open public discussion about the severe challenges facing our police department. It seems that the city is deliberately keeping these issues under wraps, preventing the community from fully understanding the gravity of the situation. This lack of accountability is unacceptable and only serves to deepen the crisis. As we approach the upcoming city council election, the CPOA urges the public to carefully consider the candidates. We need leaders who prioritize public safety and are committed to addressing these pressing issues head on. Your vote is crucial in ensuring our community is led by those who truly have Calexico's best interest at heart. Thank you.
Jonathan Rangel.
Good evening, CPOA Secretary. I'm sure you guys know what I will be talking about. So, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to voice a growing concern that affects each of us and most importantly, the residents of our city. We face a pressing issue that cannot wait, the dire need for more police officers in our community. Our city's daily population is growing rapidly, and with that growth comes an increase in calls for service, emergencies, and public safety concerns. Unfortunately, our current staffing levels are not keeping pace with these demands. As it stands, our officers are stretched thin, often working long hours, covering multiple beats, and responding to calls as quickly as they can. But the reality is we are at a tipping point. Every day our officers strive to protect and serve, but the shortage of personnel means longer response times, limited proactive policing, and increased risk not only to the public but also to the officers themselves. As we've seen in other parts of the country, A lack of sufficient law enforcement can lead to an uptick in crime rates, slower investigations, and diminished community trust. We cannot afford to let that happen here. The toll on our officers is real. They are human beings, members of this community, and their ability to do their job effectively is being compromised by burnout, fatigue, and the immense pressure of doing more with less. This not only affects their mental and physical health, but also their capacity to engage positively with the community. Public safety is a cornerstone of thriving community. Without adequate law enforcement, businesses are less likely to invest, families feel less secure, and our city's reputation as a safe place to live, work, and visit is at risk. Investing in more officers is an investment in our city's future. I urge this council to prioritize funding for additional officers. This is not just about numbers, it's about the safety, security, and well-being of everyone who calls this city home. We must act now before the situation worsens. We need your leadership, your support, and your commitment to making public safety a top priority. By increasing our police force, we can ensure a safer community, restore confidence, and uphold the standards of service that our residents deserve. Thank you for your time, and I hope we can work together to address this critical issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesús Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Roosevelt, Calexico. I've got two topics right now on special comments. The first one is pertaining to the former mayor, Gloria Romo. You have an attorney right there. You need to put him to use, okay? Just don't pay him there to be sitting there, okay? Ask him if he's Romo is in compliance with the AB 2449. Her 3 months are up. It stipulates real clear. I gave you guys some information earlier. It stipulates very clear. You cannot be absent more than 3 months. If you permit that, you're doing a disservice to yourself as a council, and you're giving a disservice to the community. So you need to address that. So my direction to you, suggestion, is to sanction Romo. You cannot legally remove her because you did not appoint her. She was appointed, she was elected by the community. So it's up to the community to remove her. But you as a council has the power and the jurisdiction to sanction her from being part of the meeting. That's one. The other topic is every meeting that we have a former council person, former mayor too, that comes up and asks for 4 minutes and a half special time. You tell me under that code that I gave you, under the code 12926, where does it cover his disability? If he has a disability, he needs to prove it to you guys in a legal paper where it stipulates what are his disabilities. Then based on that, if he falls under that code, give him a disability. It's up to you. Now, this deal about when somebody comes up here, it's at the discretion on special occasions. If you're going to be treating a special occasion every time he appears up here, there we go again. You're doing a disservice to yourself, and you're doing a disservice to the community. You guys are held hostage because he comes up here and he says, well, if you touch me, I'm going to sue you. The other thing, we have a sergeant of arms, Mr. Orozco, the chief. When you give him a director, that's a direct order. That is not asking whoever's up here. If I'm supposed to be removed, you're not going to ask me. You're going to send the sergeant of arms, Mr. Solano, move. You're not asking me. I have to move. So when you tell the sergeant of arms to remove a person, remove him. If he wants to stand against the wall, let him be. If he wants to sit in seats, let it be. But he should not be invading the podium. That's another disservice. So you need to let the community know who's in charge. Mr. Camilo, you said that this house belonged to us. It belongs to all of us, not just to one person that comes in here and asks for special treatment. Because if that's the case, then I'll come up here and I'll tell the community to come up here and ask for 4 minutes and a half. We'll do it.
Thank you.
Aguilar for general public comments and items 4 and 5.
Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. As much as things change, they stay the same. So I don't know whether everybody heard it, but it was again, no reportable action on the city manager. We're paying 2 salaries, and we have not seen or heard anything that demonstrates that Ms. Colio did anything illegal or unethical. If it were, I'm sure it would be well and alive in social media. Rather than stretching things out, and I know you have to because you can't do anything 60 days prior, 60 days after. You also made the mistake of listing without the name of the person to be removed. I wish things would change. And I encourage you, City of Calexico, to look and evaluate at these candidates that are running and ask yourself, is this what we want? Is this effective and efficient services that you're receiving, Calexico? I don't know, I don't think so. What's gonna happen if we have an emergency and you have someone go on a rampage and we have 2 police officers on patrol? What's gonna happen if somebody decides to bring a gun to one of our schools, God forbid? What are we gonna do? That's where Measure H monies were supposed to go to. Where is it? Where's those money going to now? To continue supporting this city, because we can't get it together, because our council can't get it together in doing things the way they're supposed to do. Thank you.
Jesse Garcia.
Hello, Jesse Garcia, resident of Calexico. Today I'm going to speak on Nosotros baseball field and Rodriguez baseball field. First, Nosotros baseball field. The boys' bathroom at that park is not adequate for little kids. The urinal is high, the kids can't reach, and parents have, told me their concerns about that. Either the city has to do something about that, put lower urinals, or have the team play at by the water plant. Those are okay for little kids. The other one is we need to open the south parking lot again at Nosotros baseball field like it used to be. Many years ago, when my sons played in that park, I could park at that place. The parking lot, you can't see it no more because it's covered with dirt, but you could still see the handicap parking signs. They're still there. I've asked this season parents if they would like the parking lot open again. Many of them are new to that park. They didn't even know there was a handicap parking there, but they say yes, because now they have to park out in the street, 2 blocks down, all the way up to Grand Street and walk to the park when there is a parking lot right by the park. I don't know why that park was blocked down, maybe because of that walking trail that I've been told that's in bad shape now. I got somebody sent me a picture with part of the walking trail covered with water, bushes. They need to be clipped, covering the part of the walking trail. I've never been there, but I've been told. So we need to open up that parking lot for the parents to park there. Some people who already know about that, they said that yes, they show up, and everybody's in favor of having that parking lot again. The other one is, oh, I forgot. I think I'm gonna need my 4 minutes. So, if you need proof, look at me. There's your proof. The other one is we need check areas in all the Little League parks. Some games are played in the morning, like a Saturday morning, and it's kind of hot, and there's no shade right there. We need on all the Little League parks checking areas. Also, flagpoles. There's no flagpoles in Nosotros Park. You know, we want to be patriotic, but we can't fly our flags. Rodriguez Park has one, but there's no rope to raise the flag up. So we need flagpoles or rope on those parks. We need one to put. Coach Mike Solano would put a flag on the pole behind the people. They can't see the flag, so it's behind them, behind the bleachers. Oh, that was quick. And the other one, also we need in other baseball fields scoreboard. There's no scoreboard. I don't think there's ever been scoreboard there. We need a scoreboard in every baseball field. Also, none of the parks, not only the baseball fields, but every single park in town don't have trash cans. We need trash cans. Some parks have those metal containers. They were for oil. They're heavy, full of trash, and they're heavy, empty. That's how I injured my back when I used to have to pick them up when I used to work there. Drinking fountains. Many parks have drinking fountains, but they are dry. Nothing comes out. We need drinking fountains. Cordova Park, the newest park, doesn't have a single drinking fountain or sharing area. Now, if I could go to Rodriguez baseball field. At Rodriguez baseball field, we need that concession stand repaired, the roof. But I know Parks is working on that with that company that are just going to do it. The fence around the baseball field, it's the pipes are all rusted, are broken in sections, and also there's lots of holes around the fence that needs to be repaired. We also need PA systems in all the parks. Again, going back to Coach Mike Solano, he takes his own little thing, and it works pretty well. But we need a permanent for the baseball fields. Also, announcement stand. A few years ago, some boys went into the Rodriguez baseball field and laid up the whole bleachers in the announcement stand, so they're all gone. The same thing happened at. Yeah?
Yeah, I gave you a minute. Go ahead, you can wrap it up.
All right. The other one also happened at Alice Rivera, when somebody set the announcement stand on fire. There's no announcement stand there either. Okay, 2 more things and that's it, please. One of them is none of the parks are ADA. You know, we had Coach Martin Ortiz. He's confined to a wheelchair permanently, and he has a hard time going in there for practice and for the games at Rodriguez Park. We needed start field. Have you seen that one? Nice. I mean, for handicapped people.
So if you could just wrap it up, Jesse.
Okay.
I already gave you.
All right. I believe that will be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Victor Rocha.
My name is Victor Rocha. I'm a resident of Calexico at 1205 Cota Street in Calexico. I would like the city clerk to read my request because I'm putting it in writing. Here's a copy of it. I don't want you to censor me with the 3 minutes because I'm not speaking. Can she read it? Can you direct her to read it out loud?
No, go ahead and express what you want to do.
I'm requesting the city clerk to do it.
And as the chair of this.
Can you guys take a vote on that?
As the presiding chair, go ahead, sir. State what you need to say.
Okay. Are you gonna limit me because I heard the police officers take more than 3 minutes?
I kept on.
Okay, let's start there.
Okay, thank you.
I'm hereby requesting the following documents. I want the approved minute order for the appointment of council members Victor Legaspi and Lisa Tailanda. Second request, I want the approved minute order for the appointment of the acting city manager, Contreras. We need to see your vote. Third request, requesting the approved minute order for relieving the city manager, Colio Warren. We need to see your vote. The fourth request, I need for you guys to order the city clerk to publish all approved minutes from all prior meetings online. We want transparency. They must be promptly approved by the majority of the city council, and they need to be signed by the mayor or the mayor pro tem. We elect the city council to govern, not to ask. You're supposed to give orders. That's what government means. That's what government means. You're going to dictate to us your laws, and that's what we elected you for. Don't ask, order. We need to order you to the clerk to approve, to publish all approved resolutions online. They must be approved by the majority of the city council, and they need to be signed by the mayor or the mayor pro tem to take effect. Also, request number 6, order the city clerk to prepare and submit all outstanding minutes that require your consent and approval. Minutes are crucial for you to make decisions. That will remind you what you voted on and what's pending. Request number 7, place on the evaluation of the city manager on every regular meeting agenda. You need to review his performance. You need to provide him feedback based on what we're telling you to do. Also, he's responsible for managing the money. He should be making all the reports, not you. He should be making all the presentations as it relates to the functions of the city management. That means everyone below him. He needs to hold everyone accountable. Request number 8. I would like for you to amend your organizational chart and place the city clerk under your supervision. And also to assign the city treasurer's position to the city manager, whoever that might be. We need to have oversight at all areas. And that is my request.
Thank you.
Ángela Moreno.
Wow. I don't know if my statement here is going to go, well, I'm just gonna go for it. Thank you for having me tonight, council members and the public. My name is Angela Moreno. This is going from hot to, well, no, maybe pink, I don't know. Cooler, I hope. I was asked to put something together by fellow community members, citizens of Calexico. So here I go. My name is Angela Moreno, born and raised in Calexico. I am not a politician or a public speaker. I am here because I want to thank our city council and acting city manager for listening, caring, and getting things done. I see light at the end of the tunnel. If you drive around downtown, you'll see a difference, but there's still more work to do. I have faith that this council wants the same. Despite the negative backlash, criticism, etc., the work speaks for itself. They do have an open door policy, and if you can't get to them, they gladly join you when asked or invited for a cup of tea, iced tea or coffee. If not, they will make time for you. They are listening to the community. However, the job that needs to be done here is much bigger and will take time. Be patient. A united community can move mountains, and our town will shine again. So let's work together, not against each other, because we love Calexico, home of the Bulldogs. And I'll end with this. It is easier to destroy something than rebuild it. Rome was not built in one day. So together, let's push forward for a prosperous, safe, clean, beautiful town, a town we can be prouder more than ever. Thank you. And I'd just like to add, in regards to law enforcement, I'm 100% for law enforcement. I was going through some salary reports from Calexico, and it was very, very upsetting to see that what an officer makes and to see what other staff from Public Works make. Now, officers put their lives on the line every day. So, yes, it's due time that you guys look at that. You do job analysis, and I know that you guys picked up after a council that was focused on other things than what the concerns of the community are, okay? So we're recovering, and it's gonna take time. There's a lot of work to be done. So please be patient, and let's cooperate and work together, because this is our town and we love it. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Raúl Ureña.
Hola, muy buenas tardes, Cabildo. Good evening, everybody. Mr. Mayor, if I may have my time for disability as well.
Mr. Attorney, can you opine on that one?
For disability, you need to provide a reasonable accommodation. We are limited in asking specifically a disability. That's the difficult part we have here. We can't really ask people generally what their disability is, but we do need to make reasonable accommodation that the disability they do have is one that impedes their ability to speak within 3 minutes. So it's not only a disability, but also one has to be related to them not being able to communicate the comments within the prescribed time. But generally, we get HIPAA issues in asking, but we do need to make a reasonable accommodation. And there's no bright line rule on what that is, whether it's a minute and a half or a minute extra. We just need to make a reasonable accommodation for individuals seeking a disability accommodation.
So is that at the discretion of the chair?
We do need to provide an accommodation to a disability, and if the disability is if we got to essentially take their word that the disability is related to their ability to communicate within the prescribed 3 minutes, then we do have a requirement to provide an accommodation, and an accommodation, it could be allowing additional time. And that's, in this situation, that's probably the reasonable accommodation for a disability. But we are limited in asking specifically. We generally will take people at their word that the disability they have is one that relates to their ability to be able to, in this case, communicate within the 3 minutes allowed.
If I may.
So what's the answer?
Yeah, we need to provide an accommodation and allowing additional time and appropriate accommodation for somebody raising a disability that they need additional time because they can't speak within the three minutes.
So for this, I will accommodate Mr. Ureña, but Mr. Attorney, I want a more clear answer. I know you're kind of like going back and forth, but for this council and for the community, I want to make sure that we do it.
We do need to provide if their disability does not impacts their ability to speak within 3 minutes, we should be given additional time. There's no bright line rule of what the exact time is.
Hello, may I speak? Is my time started?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. I do have some information on my disability. I did provide the Board of Supervisors because they did ask, it was illegal for them to ask, but I did provide them accommodation on my organizational disability. I'm given 1.5 time in all of my university accommodations, so if you want a clear and bright line, it's 1.5 time because that is what I'm given in all other aspects of my life. And I have
So,
documentation I
For
will
this, I
provide.
will accommodate, Mr. Ureña, but for
Thank
next
you.
meeting, Attorney, I want a clear answer. Because in other boards, they have actually challenged this, and they have not provided that accommodation. So I want that clear. I don't want to.
Yeah, okay, but my recommendation is to provide accommodation.
Thank you.
May I speak?
Go ahead.
Muchas gracias, señor alcalde. My disability accommodation is my right codified in the Americans with Disabilities Act, and it sounds like it's just that you didn't get the answer that you wanted, but I remember at the school board, someone brought out the Brown Act. This is federal policy, the American with Disabilities Act, that gives me my accommodation, and it is clear I have an organizational disability, which is why I don't have notes in front of me, and sometimes I do have trouble collecting my thoughts. When
Go ahead, Mr. Ureña.
Sorry, there's a lot of distractions. I'm just going to speak on two items really quickly. The first one is finance. Public safety is a concern today in the community, and as it is every single day. And we have to be very clear about the history of that money. In 2014 to 2020, the city of Calexico went into a deficit. We lost $10 million, more or less. Those $10 million have not been recovered by the city, and they have been paid for by staff cuts across all departments. I have been, when I came here during the last budget season, which was June 2024 of this year, very few people were in attendance, but I was very clear with the council. My only wish here in the city of Calexico is that we make an initiative, whether it's in November or in March, whether it's a sales tax initiative, a vacant lot tax, whether it is a utility users tax, whatever it may be that less impacts the Calexico residents, so that we can immediately push back funds into not just the police department, but every single department in the city that has experienced staffing shortages. I challenge anybody, candidate or council member or community, to please come up with a better plan, because my plan has been clear, it has been consistent, and it will provide the immediate millions of dollars that all of our departments, especially public safety, are so desperate for, and will immediately make up that deficit. We continue to spend $1.5 million every single year from Measure H, patching up those deficits that still haunt us from 2014. I challenge candidates, I challenge council. We've already wasted 5 months, and as Ms. Norma said, nothing has changed. At the end of the day, my budget, Esperanza's budget, was approved 5-0 by this city council, so literally nothing has changed. Going back into traffic, 2019, we talked about the collaboration with Caltrans. I was successful at getting a project initiation report, which is a traffic study on Caltrans state routes 111 and 98. We pay $1 million into that should be going into public safety. I've already done that work for you, Mr. Mayor. There's already a project initiation report, traffic study, almost to be completed by Caltrans. I suggest you please look it up and build upon that, because I really do want to see that shift from Imperial to Cesar Chavez. It's going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars that we can pump into public safety. And these are not heartfelt, of course I love our officers, but I have a plan for them as well, and have always had a plan for them. 2019, Rosie and Camilo were on council, and that was when that plan was ignored. And obviously I did a lot of work since the project, excuse you. Can you silence the public?
Mr. Ureña, you're supposed to be addressing the council.
Yes,
your time is running.
Excuse me, that's a little rough on a person with a disability.
Excuse me, your time is running. Your time is running.
Okay.
Excuse
I'm addressing council.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
In 2019, council, for your information, Camilo and Rosie were on council, and
Again,
that is
address the council, not the public.
I'm directing you. I'm giving
Yes,
you information.
But the other person is not in council.
Are you challenging my right to free speech as well?
I'm challenging
For the
the
fifth
orders
time?
that are given here for public comment.
You need to
Address the
check that with
council.
your attorney.
Keep going.
Okay, muchas gracias. Because I don't want another lawsuit either. That border traffic plan, the project initiation document is underway. I suggest you build off of it, and it's one of the best ways to fund public safety. Let me collect my thoughts. Give me 1 second. I'm a little
Thank you. Your time is up.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
June Kim.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Buenas noches. Concilios con comunidad. Yo puedo pedirlo por como que incapacidad de mi lengua, language, por doble tiempo. Aquí muchos mexicanos deben pedirlo también.
Mr. Kim, your
Okay.
time is running. Go ahead.
Ok, pero yo tengo número 11, pusieron por speak. You just,
Do you want to comment on public comment on number 11? Go ahead.
okay, I was putting the number 11, public comment. You guys not calling me yet.
Go ahead. You're speaking now.
Okay, I was putting the 11.
Go ahead. Make your comment on number 11. Okay.
No, I'm gonna stay with this one. Okay. First of all, I was gathering the sign. I was finding the money, city hiding, which is $5 million every year, and they have more than 50 million, $60 million. And I asked the city clerk expenditure of the bond 2020 issued it. You know how much I got? All the four things, $2.5 million costing, spent it. So where is the rest of the money? We was about around $15 million issued the bond, is not there. Only $2.5 million just spent it. And now they want to issue the more bonds. Why their government wants to issue the more bonds? It's a big commission. I don't know who's getting. And the other one is, city sends us some city employees criticizing my pictures in my stores, my store wall. And I said, I have a right to put my sign there, my pictures there. My picture is my sign, because they know me through the advertising my face. And the city employee said, oh, he's been sent it, so he's going to look into the witchy city ordinance to dealing with my pictures. Come on. What you guys take so much giving me trouble to say, to try to eliminating me? I heard that they send some policemen for the citizens. That's what they're doing to me.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
And the city of Calexico, they are failing.
Time is up. Wrap it up.
Okay, they're failing for the security of the community.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Okay, thank you for.
Jesús Rubalcaba.
Buenas tardes, honorable concilio, gracias por la oportunidad. Mi nombre es Jesús Enrique Rubalcaba, 1113 de 100 Perry aquí en la ciudad de Calexico. Desde 1970. Está viejo el nombre. Bueno, yo pensé que el día de hoy iba a estar un tema de la cuestión del agua y mi primo me hizo el favor de invitarme y dije, bueno, vamos a ver. Pero aparentemente no es lo suficientemente importante. No sé por qué fue removido o cuándo se volverá a presentar. Creo yo que es un tema que nos interesa a todos. Todos estamos conscientes de lo delicado que puede ser que traigan un aumento en el agua, en un derecho humano que es tener agua, y que la conviertan en una commodity, ¿verdad? En una cuestión, un negocio de que muchas personas no lo van a poder pagar, entonces tienen que decidir entre pagas el agua o comes, o a ver cómo le hacen, ¿no? Me llamó mucho la atención que las pocas veces que he asistido aquí, voy a hacerlo más seguido con todo el favor de Dios, pero siempre los mismos temas, siempre, o sea, como que la ciudad está en un limbo, como que está en una burbuja. Me recuerda mucho que hay personas que quieren servir, que están dispuestos a servir, que traen el servicio en el corazón, pero pues hay personas que no, ¿verdad? Hay un líder ahorita muy importante que dice, él se comprometió y dice, bueno, mi promesa para ustedes es no mentir, no robar y no traicionar al pueblo. Recientemente hubo una moción para que se pusiera eso en letras doradas en el Senado de México, y él lo rechazó. No quiere que se diga nada de eso, ¿verdad? Pero es una gran realidad. Yo vengo aquí y veo un caos bien organizado. O sea, que falta dinero, que no hay policías. Ve nada más este mismo edificio, ¿verdad? Este edificio todo falto de mantenimiento. Vean afuera cómo está. Vean la ciudad en caridad de Dios. Alguien se tiene que motivar a hacer algo. La mitad de la ciudad está quemada, el downtown. Como que no hay imaginación, no hay proyecto. Cómo traer al comercio, cómo traer la manera que el comerciante esté contento, cómo facilitar de que abra. Vete a abrir un negocio, ve aquí en las oficinas y empieza el trámite para un negocio, verás cómo te va. O sea, ¿qué pasa? Nos parece que no queremos que la gente venga a producir. Estamos en una situación, fíjate, tenemos una ciudad yo me imagino que fácilmente 1 millón de habitantes, aquí nomás. Empezamos igual, hace 100 años. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué nos pasó? ¿Dónde nos perdimos? ¿Dónde nos quedamos? Somos un pueblo, desgraciadamente somos un pueblo que está muy atrasado en todos los aspectos. Peor que eso, hay miles, hay cientos de colonias de Mexicali que están mucho mejor que todo Calexico.
Acaba, si puede finalizar su comentario.
¿Perdón?
Gracias, si puede finalizar su comentario.
¿Perdón?
Si puede finalizar su comentario, you can wrap
Pues
it up,
sí,
please.
no, me tardaría 1 hora, mijo, para decirte todas tus verdades, pero ahí la dejamos. Ojalá y se motiven. Recuerden, no mentir, no robar y no traicionar al pueblo. Si se pueden quedar con esas palabras en el corazón, me doy de santos. Gracias.
Gracias.
Carla Ibarra.
Buenas tardes. Do I pass them to the council or you pass them? You pass them? Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Carla Ibarra, 2219 Iturralde. Me llamó también la atención que estamos esperando con mucha ansia saber acerca del agua. Nos prometieron que iban a interesarse en esto. Como me hubiera dado gusto que todos los papás y los niños que estuvieran aquí se hubieran dado cuenta la decepción que les están diciendo hoy, mis niños los queremos, y en menos de no sé cuánto tiempo ustedes quieran dobletearles el agua. Si yo pago 200, cuando suba el agua van a ser 400. Imagínense esos padres que se nota que es la única vida que tienen sus niños. No aspiraciones muy lejos para llegar hasta la IBC y será mucho. Y somos varias personas aquí que podemos, que nos gusta, que queremos a nuestra ciudad. Creo que ustedes también. Si a ustedes no les interesa pelear por esta ciudad, créanme que a mí sí. Estamos preparándonos para litigar el agua. Si ustedes le deben favores a quienes los trajo aquí, pregúntenle si les van a ayudar cuando haya una litigación, porque ahora los problemas los van a tener personalmente, no la ciudad, porque las decisiones las toman ustedes. Díganle a esas personas que los pusieron en ese lugar, ¿me vas a ayudar cuando me vengan a mí personalmente a hacer su? Porque esto es personal, porque ustedes deben leer la información, leer la carta. Por varias razones tienen que desistir del voto del agua. Todos estamos juntos en esto. Créanme que queremos mejoras para la ciudad, pero el agua está bien. Hay muchos lugares, ustedes vieron, los niños no tienen parques decentes. La ciudad, únicamente queremos un lugar bonito. Me da asco esta ciudad. Mira el lugar, mira esas traqueadas. Tenemos gente de mantenimiento que no pueden pintar unas paredes, limpiar la alfombra apesta. Sales afuera y está horrible. Esta casa de todos ustedes y la mía tienen la misma edad. Y lo que es ahora tu casa no es la pobreza no, la limpieza, el orgullo a lo que tenemos. La planta del agua le han estado robando millones y millones antes de que ustedes estuvieran aquí. Se pueden interesar, les doy la información. Pero como tú dijiste, Mr. Linda, you want something state of the art. The reason why the city of El Centro doesn't have it is because they didn't invest before. We did. And our plant is better than theirs. And there's no more investment that we have to do because we have better product than they do. But we can invest in other areas. So I invite you to do that and desist from this until you guys learn a little bit more about it, and we can build together with you. Thank you so much.
Fausto Valenzuela. Fausto Valenzuela.
Buenas noches. Gracias por atender mi solicitud. Es con respecto a lo del tráfico que se maneja por los fines de semana, que ya sabemos que es un caos. Entonces, la situación de nosotros como habitantes del área del parque, nosotros que vivimos de qué lado, cuando venimos de México hacia nuestras casas, nos cierran César Chávez y nos mandan al 111. Y para entrar, para el área donde yo vivo, es un desorden. Al 111 no te dejan entrar, es un caos ahí. Me mandan a otra área donde tengo que irme hasta la Walmart a ver quién me deja pasar para ir a mi hogar. Y no soy yo, estoy hablando de toda la área que vivimos en ese espacio. Les agradecería ahí que hicieran algo. Yo sé que los muchachitos que están dirigiendo el tráfico hacen lo posible, lo que ellos pueden, pero no, ellos tienen órdenes que les dan, qué es lo que tienen que hacer. Yo les pido que nos ayuden en ese aspecto, porque no es posible que nos manden hasta Walmart, en el área donde yo vivo es otro lado. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Gilberto Manzanares.
Muy buenas tardes, Gilberto Manzanares, 816 6th Street. ¿Ya empezamos, Mayor? Ready? Thank you. Calexico, a very passionate city that is plagued by many scandals and corruption. None of this is new to us. The state certainly knows it. They've frozen hundreds of thousands of dollars from us. Some of those which our city manager, Esperanza Colio Warren, currently on paid administrative leave, managed to unfreeze. But in Calexico, we do things a little bit differently. 30 city managers in the past 43 years, an average of 1.4 years per city manager. And it sounds about right. You're currently trying to find a way to fire city manager Esperanza Colio Warren. It doesn't even matter if we breach your contract while we're at it. What is one more lawsuit along the pile? Surely, it won't backfire on our current infrastructure projects. It can't possibly affect the stability of the city staff. Departments, they're already running on fumes. How could they possibly get worse? It surely can affect long-term planning. We don't do that in Calexico. We don't think about tomorrow. Lithium Valley, the future home of the biggest producer of lithium in the country that will propel the nation into an electrified vehicle future, not here. Here we advocate against EV chargers. Calipatria might have welcomed them with open arms, just like El Centro, just like Brawley. But here in Calexico, again, we do things different. We demonize them and chastise them because who cares if there are other Calexicans who have to drive to El Centro, drive to Brawley to charge their vehicles? Modern and flexible city zoning, walkable downtown districts, staffing the building and planning department for once? Nope, we like the city just the way it is. Let the valley move on without us. That's the message that our city government gives through their decisions. To the workers, a legitimate question, de corazón. Regardless who you like personally, who promises you the most? You've been working with skeletal crews for the past decade. Can you wholeheartedly say that you see the light at the end of the tunnel? Can you afford to be sick? Can you afford to take vacation days? 5 years just wasn't enough to increase your departments by 3 or even 2 more positions for fire, for police, for public works. More and more businesses are leaving to El Centro with good cause, 2 just in the past month. Yet, no proposition or plan on the table in the past 5 years to increase city revenue. Before I left council, I stood here and I gave a final comment, an olive branch if you will, so that you can finally, after so many years, fulfill the positions promised to police and fire departments and place a vacant and blight property tax on the November ballot. But it seems unlikely because you're too concerned with your re-elections. And if you have time to run your campaigns, you have time to prepare a proposal for the next March election, so that for once, regardless of who wins and who loses in November, we can have a tangible proposal to increase city revenue in this town, not just throw economic development words around and hope that they turn true. Thank you.
Pat Ureña.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and our international council member in Ireland. I'm actually here because I have a concern about having an international council member in Ireland when she should be here. If the city is paying her insurance or monthly pay, she should be here representing us in that chair, not over there. She's been gone too long. I kind of sort of miss her. I'd like to see her back. If not, I think she should give up her chair. With that being said, I also want to say that I think we need to support our police department. It's probably police and fire are the most needed amenities in any city. And if we're that far behind with 20 cops, you know, who's minding the store? So keep that in mind. In the past, I've talked about a strategic plan. We don't have one. We haven't had one in who knows how long. And again, we're going to keep going around in circles like the young man just said before this, you know. I mean, we don't know who's going to get elected. 63 more days left. So let's pick people that are going to make things happen. I've seen things happen with this council, and I just hope that we continue to move forward, not backwards. Thank you.
Ismael Arvizu.
Buenas noches, everyone. Good afternoon, good night. I would like to make a public comment about Esperanza Colio's termination. Item 5. I put Colio because you guys didn't put a name on who you were trying to release. We're paying $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we're paying someone else $181,000 a year for someone to not do their job. Then we to do the job that they're supposed to be doing. The same amount. Well, I don't know if it's the same, but it's a huge amount of money that any city manager is making. That's $15,000 going to a person that has to not work. Have you ever been told to not work and get paid $50,000? Dios quiera que sí. Policemen, when they kill someone, right? Okay. So, have you guys ever been let go of a job and given $15,000 a month to not do your job? No, it's absurd. We hired people to do the job. You guys voted to bring Esperanza Colio in, and like Gilberto just said, we're doing the 1.4 ratio of, yeah, this person didn't do a good job in 2 years, okay, let's try to find someone else. Esperanza Colio has a master's in public administration. That's a big difference to someone that just has a public admin bachelor's. No offense to bachelor's, but it's not worth the same amount of knowledge, you know? Esperanza Colio was able to unfreeze funds for Calexico, which helped Calexico move 2 steps forward to just bring it 5 steps back, thanks to all these movements. Lithium Valley is literally around the corner, and we are just avoiding the green energy that is going to be sprouting from our valley. I don't know if it's Westmoreland or Calipatria or some. There's like parking spaces. There's like so much EV movement in the valley, and here we are saying no to security in our EV chargers. To like, okay, let's be pro border patrol security, but when it's like in the back of City Hall security, now we don't want that. In front of the police department, we didn't want that. The police are here complaining. The firefighters can't be here every single day to complain because they're working out there. And we had people working day by day trying to look for scraps, grants, or anything that they could find through the state or any county initiative. And I feel like right here it's just a static pool of water, encharcada, llena de mosquitos, amoebas, and nasty stuff. You guys have not made any decisions because the elections are coming up. The water, let the other people decide. Esperanza, let the other people decide. Then what are you guys here for? Really? November's gonna come around, and we're just gonna see how little you guys are actually doing in this amount of time. So I pray that you guys actually try to do something.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Daniela Flores.
Good evening, Daniela, resident of Calexico. I'm really just here to uplift 2 things that residents have already discussed. The first is, speaking on behalf of a lot of residents that have a lot of concerns around the reasoning behind the city manager Esperanza Colio. I would like to ask the lawyer here if it is allowable for this council to share the reasoning for this investigation or so-called investigation. We don't have clarity about what kind of investigation. Anytime a city manager gets put on administrative leave, there's some explanation as to what they're looking into. And so you're gonna hear some of probably Ms. Tailinda and probably Moreno and Camilo and Legaspi, who are trying to get reelected, talking about how they want transparency. Well, they should start by asking for transparency around why the city manager is currently placed on leave. So you should start now that you have the position and start asking for that transparency. The second one is around the water increases. So at the last time that I spoke here, I was asking for this council to look for alternative options instead of just making the residents pay for that water increase. And so, I hope that you all are, doing what you're saying you're doing, which is listening to residents about alternative options. And so we're waiting for an update. It is really important to the people that you give an update, at least some clarity as to when they can expect a future meeting, so that they can, get more information about what was proposed. So those are the 2 things. And with that, thank you.
Thank you.
Luis Castro.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Luis Castro, 2187 R Carrillo. Lo que yo entiendo, el concilio no puede hacer cambios con el city manager mientras no lo liberen esa posición. Esa es una. La otra es, la elección está a la vuelta de la esquina. No estoy correcto, corríjanme, si son 60 días o 90 días, pero ustedes no pueden tomar decisión antes de la elección o después de la elección, son 60 o 90 días. Lo que yo todo el tiempo he comentado, que la ciudad de Calexico ha tenido demanda tras demanda por malas decisiones del concilio. Llegué un poquito tarde, al parecer escuché que no tomaron acción en closed session, pero yo les pido que tengan conciencia en sus decisiones. Tienen que tener conciencia. Como servidor público, ustedes tienen que ver el beneficio de la comunidad. Y pues habló el señor Casillas, habló la señora Norma, habló el señor Rocha, habló el señor Escobar, perdón, Rubalcaba, la señorita que está a un lado de él, y pues todos hablan de lo mismo. El señor Rubalcaba es la primera vez que lo oigo que habla, pero les dijo una gran verdad, y es una lástima, es una lástima que venga uno a la ciudad, y especialmente gente nueva, y se dé cuenta que no cambian. La señora Aguilar, es una tristeza, de veras, es una tristeza que estemos escuchando lo mismo. Y como lo dije una vez, y lo vuelvo a repetir ya para terminar, la ciudad de Calexico se han gastado millones de dólares por malas decisiones. Tengan cuidado en sus decisiones, consulten más seguido con el abogado. Otra cosa que ahora miré, tomé el taxi de la línea a mi casa, me cobró $6.50. Le dije, ¿desde cuándo subieron? Al chofer, dice, hace 15 días. Ok, se los pagué. Pero ¿saben una cosa? Para hacer un cambio de incrementar cualquier tarifa en taxis y camiones, tiene que venir primero al concilio y ustedes aprobarlos, y después dar tiempo. Y después, deja terminar nomás esta frase, por favor. ¿Está bien?
Wrap it up.
Ok. Y después, darles un tiempo más para que expongan ellos el precio. No lo hicieron. No sé quién tomó decisión, pero así como tomaron esa decisión, ese cambio que no le avisaron a la comunidad, pues yo digo que así no se corre la ciudad. Gracias.
Astrid Calderas.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Astrid Calderas. Agradezco la oportunidad de participar. También a mí me llamó la atención que un tema tan relevante como es el del agua no estuviera incluido en la agenda, especialmente porque ustedes observaron la voz del pueblo en la reunión anterior, así es de que es de esperarse que es un tema de mayor importancia. Bueno, quiero recordarles que en este periodo de preelecciones hay que tomar en cuenta las necesidades y la voz de la comunidad, ante todo. Es importante que los representantes del concilio actual y futuro estén capacitados para abordar los múltiples problemas que por un largo periodo han impactado a la comunidad, desde el deterioro de las calles, algo tan sencillo como la inseguridad, la mala calidad del aire y del agua, el comercio y la economía, etcétera. Y que si no se sienten capaces, permitan a alguien con la experiencia y con la convicción necesaria para impulsar el progreso de nuestra comunidad. Respecto al agua, además de esto, cabe mencionar que reconozco y agradezco porque he tenido la oportunidad de observar cómo líderes comunitarios se han estado uniendo para un mismo fin. No es la primera ocasión en que el concilio vio a la comunidad unificarse para una misma causa, siendo este el incremento de los servicios del agua y del drenaje. Ya en el 2018 se vivió una situación similar y los resultados no beneficiaron a los ciudadanos, sino por lo contrario, impactaron sus bolsillos. Y además, no ha sido transparente qué es lo que sucedió con estos fondos, o si en realidad se reparó la infraestructura. Hoy los ciudadanos no estamos dispuestos a permitir que se repita la misma historia, y las voces de la reunión previa hicieron un eco en un mismo punto: no al aumento de las tarifas del agua. No les pidieron estudios, no les pidieron talleres ciudadanos, pidieron ser escuchados y considerados. De la misma manera, algunos de ustedes actualmente estarán pidiendo un voto. Recuerden el objetivo de la asignación de su puesto y las prioridades de la comunidad. No pueden poner una barrera entre la comunidad y ustedes, puesto que son servidores públicos y se requiere un trabajo en equipo para progresar. También ha sido conmovedor ver a los niños que estuvieron aquí presentes y ver la incertidumbre que a estos niños les espera si no hay algún progreso en nuestra ciudad.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Lorenzo Calderón.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council people. My name is Lorenzo Calderon, 1233 Margarita. Today I'm coming to you as a neighbor, a resident of Calexico, not as a politician. I was born and raised in Calexico, and I believe this is my hometown. And the reason why I'm here, I'm concerned about public safety. I'm concerned because we have lots of people running around our city that we don't even know who they are. I'm concerned for those citizens, senior citizens that live by themselves and have no one to take care of them, and they're vulnerable because of the people we have walking the streets. I'm also concerned about the vacancies that the city has. Our police department has vacancies, our fire department has vacancies, and the city hall has vacancies. As a matter of fact, every position that is important to make this city grow are either an interim or vacant. So if we're gonna accomplish something or get this city going, we need to make an assessment of what we need to bring economic growth. We need grant writers. We need revenue to come in. Our city has a general budget of 23 million. 80% goes to salaries and benefits of our employees. So we only have 20% to deal with our parks, to deal with our recreation departments, and to keep our cities safe. I urge you that you have to make an assessment of this. Prior to me retiring, I was an associate warden at Centinela State Prison. And if anyone knows about safety, I know about safety. I was tasked with 300 staff on my watch to ensure that they had the tools and they had what they needed to make that watch work. and most important, to ensure that they went home safe every day. And what concerns me here is that we have officers here crying for help. With $23 million in the general fund, we don't have the money. So I'm not going to say that let's hire policemen. We have to be innovative, resourceful. We have to bring funds so we can hire officers. With that said, I have to promote economic development without available city funds. It requires innovative and resourceful approaches. And I want to thank everybody, and let's just respect each other and run the city like it's supposed to. Thank you.
I received the following email, public comment. City Council members, I am writing to express my deep disapproval of the city's actions in our downtown regarding the cutting of a mature tree that provided critical shade during our summer months, especially for our fellow Calexicans experiencing homelessness. The city of Calexico already has limited shade availability, and the cutting of trees in our downtown in the face of increasing temperatures due to climate change is short-sighted, ill-informed, and cruel to the many people who seek shelter under this canopy. If the council seeks to address the issue of homelessness in our downtown, we should work towards solutions that help people get off the street, not make life more difficult for them, and hope the problem will go away. Do better. From Edgar Ramirez. I received similar emails regarding the same topic from Christopher Ayala, Frank Valladares, Ángel de Dios Lopez, and Selena Meyer. I received the public comment via email from Eugenio Ramos. Hello, my name is Eugenio Ramos. I have been a city resident my whole life. Also, I'm an active member of Mujeres with Voice. I'm one of the gentlemen in our club. I would like to make a brief statement and give credit where credit is due. I would like to give thanks to interim city manager Juan Contreras, as well as the currently visible city council, and would like to express gratitude and thank you for making positive and visibly noticeable changes in our town. It's cleaner and healthier, and it seems that we're moving forward in the correct direction. We can finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. Keep up the good work, and thank you for the open door policy that is in place for our new current council. It sure feels good having a concern and being able to address it directly to you, our representatives. Again, thank you. And remember, if Calexico shines, we all shine together. No more public comments.
Thank you. Before we continue, I just want to make sure that I know it's really late, but it is important that we listen to your concerns. But moving forward, we're going to also try to not limit the comments, but for next meetings, upcoming meetings, we might move, we might just do half an hour comments based on the ordinance that we passed. And then any comments that are not heard on the first part of the meeting, that will be done at the end of the meeting, just to make sure that we continue with business. Thank you. So now we're going to go to City Manager's report.
Thank you, Council. Remaining members of the community, you can recall the past several meetings I was requested to bring some information to the Council. I have provided all Council with a packet of information that was requested. I'll go off just the top of the list right here is a request for the whole group contract, right? And what we have paid out for the whole group for the past 5 years. Currently, we're at $410,673.45, right? I do have a list of projects that were assigned to the whole group dating back from 2018 by Mr. Dell, 2019 again by Mr. Dell, and 2019 same project being the traffic study was a big project that was used. The whole group was used back then. Currently, we do have them facilitating fire station number 2, which we're looking almost a month and a half to closure, and I can bring back final numbers revolving the whole group and what we've paid out to them so far. Any questions on that? Second item was, which was Mr. Aguirre helped out, was the traffic study congestion. You guys saw the presentation on that one. I was also asked to bring back numbers regarding BB&K, the expenditures that we've had for the past 5 years, and potentially put a package, which I do have a package already ready to go as an RFP for legal services, right? And I'm holding off. I'm holding off on that to get the direction of the council. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are currently being needed through council, through legal. But I did provide the numbers for all staff of what we currently have paid out to BB&K. A breakdown on all these numbers would be kind of hard for staff to do and just go back, but you can see by year that we fluctuated from 600 to 500 to 600 to 500, and currently being at 800,000. But we do understand that there's a lot of things that we have used, recall, Hearthstone. There's a lot of positions that we don't have filled that we outsource and use legal for, which is a great help for personnel and so on and so forth. But I did mention, my staff has put a packet together to ready to get sent out. There is a process that goes through the RFP, it gets sent out and comes back, and interview process and so on and so forth, it comes back to council. Again, you guys, Ms. Thailinda had also requested to get numbers on an in-house attorney, which staff has provided as well. So base salary and benefits for this fiscal year for an in-house attorney, we're looking at about $242,000. But we need to understand again, that doesn't include his staff, his clerical work that needs to be done, or whatever he's going to outsource. But it's still a lower number, right? It's still a cost savings. This was a request that was, asked by Ms. Thailinda. I have provided the numbers here, any direction as to where we go with this, and so I can invite staff to start working and moving forward with this. Do we have any questions from council? There's a food truck ordinance. So, food truck ordinance, cottage foods, was brought to the council February 7th, 2024. A background on the food truck: on September 21st, 2012, the state of California passed Assembly Bill AB 1616, Cottage Food Operations, which requires cities to allow cottage food operations as defined by Health and Safety Code. This was brought to the council back in February, was taken to the Planning Commission twice, because they did recommend some changes. The first time it was during the operating hours of the cottage foods, right, out of Senadorias or whatever it might be. To comply with AB 16, which requires cities to allow cottage foods operation as defined by the same health code. There was public hearings that came about, the delivery and pickup hours of operations during cottage foods, but pretty much staff has already completed and drafted the ordinance for cottage food and food trucks. It needs to go to legal for review, comes back to the administrators, we review it, as well as council. I would recommend to go back to the community and get their input, because it's been so long, a few 6 months, to get back their input on how we want to proceed with moving forward with food trucks and cottage foods. Another issue that was brought to my attention was cannabis. Where are we at with cannabis? In the city, 5 letters were sent out within the first week that I was here, with planning, building, code enforcement, to all 5 cannabis businesses in the city that were in violation. So we reached out to them, we sent them letters. One of the companies reached out to us to work with the city and get them up to par, right? And like I said, open door policy, I'm willing to have the companies come in and work with us and get things moving forward. One of the recommendations from council, by Ms. Thalinda, was to reach out to HDL. HDL currently does services with finance and within the city. We do currently have a contract with them. They did send us a scope of work for cannabis management services, which they conduct audits, inspections. They look into the city cannabis tax returns, state returns, federal tax, bank statements, sales receipts, so on and so forth. Again, we keep saying that, you know, we need revenues for PD and for law enforcement and for public safety. This would be a big step forward to try to bring some of those revenues in. Again, we did get the scope of work. It's just getting direction from council as to, yes, we're gonna move forward with them, and so we can get that contract going so we can start working with them. What else do we have? Homeless encampment, I believe Mr. Orozco has been working with Mr. Legaspi and Ms. Thalinda regarding the homeless encampment downtown. There's been meetings going back and forth. I'm not sure Mr. Orozco would bring us up to date on that.
Good evening again. So I've been working with local city council member and local agencies to try to address the homeless issue going on in the city, offering them services, but on top of that, also implementing the new, or the state laws that are in effect now, since we had the case law between Grants Pass versus Johnson, which is obviously our first step is to offer them services, getting them the help they need, but if all that fails and we have no recourse, then we go to the law enforcement side of it, where we cite the people and we get them to move. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. In fact, a lady came in today. She just walked out maybe about 20 minutes ago, thanking us because they're seeing the downtown clean. They're seeing a difference, and. It's good to hear, and I wish you would have come and talked to her in general comments so you can hear, but they are seeing a difference. It's something that, with the implementing of the meters that I said that I was going to do is invest more into the downtown, and, got to thank my officers because they are going out there, they're contacting people, they're making arrests for fentanyl and methamphetamine and getting a lot of DUIs. Like I said before, we've gotten an increase of 25% in our DUIs, and that's because we've been sending them to training too because of the grant that we have. So kudos to my officers for really, even though they're stretched thin, they're still going out there and they're making their arrests, they're contacting people, they're trying to help them as best they can.
Any questions on the encampment? So those were some of the items that were brought, right? And that's not on, that was requested for council. This is not from my list that happened in the month of, August. And it's a whole team effort, right? With employees that are currently here. It's a whole team effort. So first and foremost, I want to thank Christian Alvarado, new PD officer for City of Calexico. I want to congratulate new HR analyst Mayra Barbosa for coming on board for the team. I want to congratulate, which we haven't had the ceremony yet because we're still waiting on pending promotions and whatnot and test results. But I would like to congratulate Joel Rivera for promoting to captain for the fire department and Wes Knowlton for promoting to engineer for the fire department. As you have seen, downtown Fiesta building has been removed. We did meet with Mr. David Aguirre and myself and Ms. Falomir last week regarding the project for the new transit center and sidewalk repairs and whatnot. He does want the city to be involved as far as the signage goes and what details we want to add to that project. We did walk over to 3rd Street and Pollen at the bus stop, and it's a pretty busy bus stop, and we're there for maybe 20 minutes, and there's just a large group of people. The Falomir staff has been doing a great job. They do pressure wash Tuesdays and Thursdays now at the downtown. I know there's also a volunteer group that's very interested in going in and helping out as well in the downtown area. But she posted some pictures, or she sent me some pictures, and they do pretty much pressure wash and just scrub that whole area. You can see the people standing off to the side while they do it, but it's just so congested and so busy that it gets done while people are there, and I'm sure they appreciate the cleanliness of it. Carnegie Hall, as you can see, there's been some work done at Carnegie Hall where they're installing the AC in the back, which should be operational here coming up pretty soon. The Camarena Library at Kiki Camarena, they are working on the sewage collapse in the parking lot, and Ms. Legaspi had sent me pictures of the work being done there. New River Project, again, kudos to Ms. Salomine because she's spearheading that. Every week we get updates. We're about 75% complete on that. We did meet with Assemblyman Garcia a couple weeks ago regarding some potential other involvement regarding the maintenance of it once it's completed in hopefully January. There was a resubmittal for the Fire Station number 2 grant, which Mr. Camilo Garcia submitted that today for a March 2025 deadline to the state. Fire Station number 2 update, they're starting to drywall. The exterior of it's already painted. They're going to start mudding, and all electrical is pretty much 100% complete. They're working on the camera system, the irrigation system, the paging system, but if you go by, you can see a new painted light fixtures are going to be going up pretty soon. We have another update in the next few weeks, so hopefully early October completion. I've created a task force for that involves code enforcement, fire inspector, and fire personnel that are currently working 8 to 5. And one of the issues that was brought to my attention I want to say a month ago, was a list of expired business license, right? Delinquent business license. So when I saw the list, I'm like, well, this doesn't happen from one day to the next. So let's get the teams together and let's see what we can do to help bring in that additional revenue. And I shared what where we can be at if we were to be caught up. But it's not a citation, it's not a ticket, it's just a notice of violation, a friendly reminder, say, hey, you've been expired, can you please go into the city and pay what you owe, right? Because services are needed. So we need to bring it in somehow. So if you do, like one of the gentlemen said, well, if you don't get complaints, then I'm not doing my job. And I've gotten some complaints already, which is fine. Come talk to me. We're willing to work with the business owners and the community. We'll make a payment plan if we need to, but come and talk. Let's open up that conversation to see where we can get to, where we can minimize that list, because it's a pretty extensive list. I did meet with Cal OES from Sacramento. They did come down and do 3 site assessments for disaster relief trailers and fuel trailers, one in City of Calexico at the airport, Imperial Fairgrounds, and one in the City of Brawley's airport. And they took a tour. Mr. Jerry was there and showed them around, and they're possibly wanting to house some disaster or store some disaster trailers because we're so proximity to Mexico that they're even willing to use Rosa's Plain Foods and redo it as an office, which kind of ties into one of the staff reports for the station's EOC. I met with Mr. Mayor Castro from the City of Brawley regarding some downtown lighting that they did on 3rd and Heber. There's a project that they have proposed for wall-mounted fixtures all along 2nd Street with advanced lighting solutions. They did tell me to work with IAD and work with Mr. Denton to see if there's some way we can get some possible money so we can light downtown the way it should be. I want to thank the volunteer group that went out and helped out with the Little League fields. It's a start, right? It's a start. They used some of the material that was at the city shop to work on Alex Rivera Field. And we'll be moving on to other fields when we get more time. Still working on the request from Mayor Garcia for the building assessments. I did take some pictures of the community center, and I'll be making my way around and providing a report with that next meeting. And the Nosotros parking lot, somebody had mentioned it. I will get with a community member as well and see if we can open that parking up, additional parking behind Nosotros Parks once the season gets started. I think that's it for now.
Thank you for such a complete report. Now we'll move on. Oh, I don't know if someone has a question from a council member? No? Okay. So now we'll move on to commissioner's report. Do we have a commissioner, any commissioners in? Before we move on, I think we need to make a motion to extend the meeting. If I can get a motion to extend the meeting to whatever the motion says.
So moved.
To what?
To 10:30?
All right.
I'll be quick.
So I'll second that motion and roll call real quick.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so on, I think it was August 27th, we had a meeting with the reiteros. Not the reiteros, the ones that are not doing the business right. The good reiteros, the ones that are paying their business licenses. We had a good meeting. It was very interesting. Lisa, we were talking before we went into the office, and she was like, there's a lot of people. But yeah, it's a big problem, you know, and it's good. It was a great meeting. I felt that they were very enthusiastic about the direction that they're headed. They're so ecstatic that we're even entertaining, you know, talking to them and bringing them to the table. That's one thing that I noticed, is that we need to do more than that. Let people know that we're actually hearing them out, bring them to the table. Let's find solutions together. And if we can help each other out, then we can help each other out too, right? Create that connection. That was one meeting we had done with Chief Orozco. And then we also had a cleanup that was canceled for downtown. I think there's a bottleneck that we need to figure it out. Either pass the you know, to someone else maybe to do these back, you know, clerical stuff, because we did have also an agenda meeting for the bid on August 22nd scheduled, but it was never posted online. It's frustrating that, you know, there's a lot of people. There was things like grant opportunities, cleaning downtown, lighting downtown, security services for downtown, the parking meters, trash cans, things like that were on the agenda, but they weren't posted online. And I think that's where the bottleneck is happening. There's someone that we need to give extra work to, someone else, maybe someone like a chair or something, be able to post these online on the website, because a lot of people you see, they're frustrated. You know, they're frustrated that they want to get something done. Things like painting on the walls, I mean, volunteers can get something like that. We don't need to give these jobs to these, you know, public works people. Give it to the community that we can, you know, lessen the blow of the amount of money that we're spending right now, and bring it to the police, bring it to fire, you know, that kind of stuff. It's going to alleviate a lot of that stuff, and that's just one of my recommendations, just to look at what we can do to be able to move forward, because I mean, we can't even have meetings. I mean, that's a little bit frustrating for me. I really felt, you know, distraught that something like this, like we're wanting to work. We want to work. We want to get things done, but we're being prevented. I'm not saying that someone needs to be blamed, but como te digo, it could be someone else's job to do that, to post it online. But for me, that's it. I don't know if someone else. Yeah. Business Improvement District.
Thank you.
For downtown.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the public. So Roxana Pacheco from the Service Commissions Committee. Just to let you, a couple of announcements. So we did have a successful pool and movie night, August the 17th. Thank you, Calexico Wellness, for sponsoring. We did have a good turnout. We also would like to have something like this next year, to have the screen and, you know, show movies. That was something that the parents and kids were enjoying. So, and aside from using the pool. We do have next week, this Friday we're having something for the senior citizens. It's a dance for grandparents. And then next week we'll be having Tuesday is the Viva Mexico. It's going to be at the Carmen Durazo Arts, and there'll be live music. Next Wednesday is our meeting with the Service Commissions Committee. That is something that we're going to have back-to-back from the event from Viva Mexico. Shout out to Norma for, she's been busy with the recreation, with the classes and activities that just started on November the 3rd. I mean, sorry, September 3rd. Also, we have, thank you, Council, for listening to me for our Cycle 8 project that just was posted August 26th. So we do have the calling for artists as we speak right now. I was able to talk to Council Thalinda, Council Camilo, and Legaspi. We were able to just give you some other options of the other artists would like to work with us as well, volunteer work, other murals, other artists that we were able to talk to with Rotary and other organizations. So other than that, the deadline for this project for Call for Artists for Murals is October 28th. The sites are there posted, just one is artist choosing. But other than that, that is my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, Patricia Orena, Community Services Chair. I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Pacheco for the report on the recreation. I did want to also mention, thank you, Jesse, for all the reporting and being a good advocate, keeping us on our toes. Just want to say, Angela, thank you for letting us know that Rome isn't built in one day, and you're absolutely correct, but I think we're on the right track and that we're moving forward. Want to invite the community to our Community Services Commission meeting on September 11th at 5:30 here at these council chambers. Update regarding our agenda for people that are interested. The commission will be reviewing the Vincent Memorial High School MOU. I want to thank the city manager for meeting with the new principal, Sister Patricia Rodriguez. I think we had a very good informative meeting. It was the first time that Vincent Memorial ever had a meeting with the city of Calexico. And so we're looking at ways that we can help with their athletic teams and sports facility areas for them to practice. From what I understand, they're going to be using Willie Moreno for their football practices right now. Just want to remind everybody they are also part of our city. Hopefully we can get a status on the Heber expansion at the last June 5th meeting. This council did decide we wanted to build the gym and move forward with that. So I don't know when we're gonna do a little shoveling or throwing some dirt so we can start that project. And I know that we're still gonna be looking for a couple more $1 million to finish the project. There was a letter that was supposed to be submitted to Congressman Reese. Hopefully we can send one out to Mr. Garcia and maybe even Senator Padilla, so we can look for other funding. Commissioner Pacheco mentioned the mural program that just started this week, and we're looking forward to working with those artists. We also had a good meeting with Councilmember Legaspi, and Mayor Garcia met with San Diego State University, and we're still working on a project to do a citywide mural program. And San Diego State has stated that they are interested in using their grant writer to find that grant, and it's going to be a huge grant. Regarding Rodriguez Park, I do want to thank Mr. Solano and his leadership for having his group of volunteers out there to clean up part of that Rodriguez and doing the infield. It looks a lot nicer. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done there regarding the fencing. We are going to be getting trees maybe in a month or so. So hopefully we can get that park. Like I've mentioned in my first meeting, one park at a time. We just need to finish one park at a time. I want to thank Commissioner Eniguez as well for helping out with that, and Council Member and Mayor Garcia for being out there and helping out. Beautification, part of our committee as well. Just want to say thank you to BID. We're working with BID as well on the cleaning of downtown area, and hopefully we can start getting that place cleaned up. You already saw Third Street, it's pretty clean now. Status report on Cordova. If you haven't been by Cordova Park, they have been working on the walkability, the sidewalks, so we're moving forward with that. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done at Nosotros Park. And one of the recommendations that was brought today was the parking lot. There's a parking lot close to the softball field where people have to park on the residential area. So if you're a softball player, you have to park 2, 3, 4 blocks away from that softball field. So if they can remove those pillars that they have there, so people can start parking where they used to park before, around the block from that park, and that would definitely help with the parking situation. So we have a lot of work in front of us. Part of it is that we need to, as a commission, continue to work on a strategic plan just for parks and recreation facilities. And that was just the parks. We need to continue to maintain our recreation facilities with air conditioning. I'm glad that Carnegie is getting an AC finally. I was worried that the wood might, go up because you need to have air conditioning there. With that, I don't want to add any more because it's already 6 o'clock in Ireland, and I don't want to keep up our international council member up that late. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, we'll move to City Council comments and reports.
As a commissioner.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to thank Mr. Contreras for helping us in the council, and thank you for Mr. Moreno and Mr. Camilo. On August 17th, we were out there at Alex Rivera spreading the dirt on the infield. We did that. It came out pretty good. What was it? 2 days ago, we trimmed 5 palm trees. There's 6 left or 7 left. We're working on that. It might be done this week, if not next week. And the other thing is, just to inform you, Mr. Contreras and myself are going to go out there at Nosotros Park tomorrow, make an assessment. If it's not tomorrow, the next day from that, make an assessment. And I already spoke to him regarding the needs on the park, regarding the parking space on the back and moving those pillars back. And the also is we need to get together with Mr. Pesqueira. He's willing to come aboard with the first responders too. They want to clean up the walking trail behind Nosotros Park. That's another project that we're going to be spearheading. And then at Nosotros Park, we are going to drag the field and then compact it with a compactor and go from there. And all I'm asking for this council and for Mr. Contreras, when I come up here or when I address my concerns regarding parks, I want it to be done on fast track. Okay, I don't want barriers. Let's just move. Okay, because the first project took 45 days since I addressed it here to when it was done. That's too much. More than half of the crew got disappointed and they don't want to participate. So it's hard for me to convince them. Thank you.
Thank you. So now moving on to the next item, City Council comments and reports. Minutes attended, so I start to my right.
Yeah, I'll go first, Mr. Mayor, if I can. As an elected official, we all take an oath of office, right? And I have a copy that I took the oath of office in December when I got elected. And we take the oath of office to uphold the Constitution for all of you. You all have rights. And also to discharge the duties by doing so. The word faithfully to me means that I have an obligation to protect your rights. And be consistent without interest, consistent with integrity to protecting your rights. However, tonight, I don't see the water rates issue again. I made a motion last meeting. I know it was an unofficial, I think it was whatever reason it was, we kind of figured that out, that we need to bring it to the regular meeting according to law. But it's not here today. So as I sat here and I read the letter I got from the Calexico, the newly formed Calexico Water Payers Association, and all the comments, I wrote my, in handwriting here, as I sat here, I wrote my comments to that topic. We did vote on that. we're going to bring it back because we felt there was more discussion and action to be taken, among other things. A lot of things are not clear to me. So I requested including a workshop, but it's not here today. That's okay. So it's not okay, not because it's not okay. It's not okay because we can't talk about it. I can't make a motion. I can't do anything because it's not here. All we can do is make comments, my own conviction. So please bear with me. So we must ensure that we are complying with Proposition 218, and we talked about it, all the processes, and it's not happening. And I understand we didn't meet that 50 plus 1 submittal of protests, okay? But as a governing body that we are, we have the authority to stop it, suspend it. We can do it tonight, we can do it another day as a governing body. The Constitution in California gives us authority. Not even the states or the feds can get involved with that because we're a charter city. They don't get involved unless there's some obviously egregious or some criminal acts, then they'll get involved. But basically we can do whatever we want for the benefit of the people. So I hope I ask my council members here tonight to join me tonight in maybe suspending that. It says we don't even have it for discussion today. I mean, we're not interested then. Then suspend it at least until the elections are over. At least that, or maybe next year. So, we need sufficient and transparent notification that clearly identifies those households and businesses, okay, who hold water accounts that will be affected in terms of equity. Now, that's just on the on my comments, but here I did some research today. Just recently, in July of 15 of this year, there was a case pending under the Court of Appeal, 4th District in California. Mark Cozier versus Otay Water District. It's been around for many years. They finally resolved it. And let me tell you something. The courts rule in favor of the ratepayers. And so we're entering in a phase that we're not going to even have any how we could go back because we're not even actively involved, even put it on the agenda. So let me tell you what the court does. The court did. The court awarded an estimated refund approximately $18 million with monthly increases until Otay imposes rates consistent with the section. They're not consistent. They got caught. Okay? The court also determined that Otay Water District failed to adhere to industry standards when they were implementing water rates. Okay? Also, that Otay Water District discriminated against single-family customers by charging more water than other customers' classes without convincing arguments. That's case law, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. So, if you think we're going to get into this thing, I'm not even doing nothing with it and not even talk about it, well, guess what's going to happen? This association that's forming now, I don't want to go there because they're going to start suing us, and guess what happens? They have the right to based on case law. Okay? Now, we ask about more police officers, more ambulances, more services. We're not going to have money for that. I want more police officers, I want more officers, but I don't want to pay lawsuits. And that's where we're heading. Okay, so I ask, if we're not going to put this on the agenda, I ask my council members to suspend it. And if we are, bring it back like we said it was. Thank you.
Good evening. For council reports, I just wanted to inform the public that Council Member Legaspi and I have been working a lot with the Chief of Police to try and find ways to bring more police officers to staff a special unit for downtown, so hopefully we see that item on a future agenda. Another thing I want to say is thank you so much to the volunteer program that is being run to help clean our parks. That's amazing. And I also, I have a question. When the item's tabled and it doesn't get tabled on a date, it dies, right? You have to bring it back from what I was reading because it wasn't specified at a date so you have to restart the process
I mean,
again.
if you're following the Roberts rules, which we don't technically all the time, so technically, if you're doing a tabling, then you got to bring it back a motion to bring it back up again. If you tabled it, yeah, you would have
Without a date, okay. All right. So, yeah, because I'm also concerned about not having the item on here just as discussion for when we would bring it back, because another town hall was requested. And it's important to have those items on here because we get people from the community expecting those items to be on here, and then we don't have anything on here to even talk about it or get input for it. So if we could, make sure that we include items that we say we're going to include at the next meetings, at least discussion, not even action. Let's make sure we do that because then we're not meeting the public's expectations. Thank you.
Yes. Also, as mentioned before, we had a meeting with the chief of police regarding to the unhoused population. And in order for us, one of the concerns or comment that was made during that Zoom meeting, Mayor was also involved on that one, is you need to beef up the police. It's nice and dandy when you have mental health coming down and you have all these special outside agencies coming down, but if you don't have proper staffing, it's not going to work. That's something that I mentioned during the Zoom meeting. Lisa and I have been working also, as she had stated, with the chief in regarding to how we can beef up the police department. 20 officers not being out there, that's not good. So this is a real concern. Someone had mentioned about public safety. We need to bring back the license plate readers. And if you can bring that back at the next meeting, let's do that. Also, the SB 481. We need to also not drop this one. We need to set up meetings with our city manager, finance, and maybe human resources on how to streamline the hiring, because it's not happening. I believe it's also not happening with our fire personnel. We need to do something with that. So write up a memo, chief or city manager, have him send you a memo on how we can streamline the hiring process, make this quicker. Also, city managers, let's set up a meeting with the chief. Set up a meeting with the chief. 20 officers down the line is not good. So you guys need to have a weekly meeting on how we can bring or have officers come in. It's a lot of people. So let's make that happen on a weekly basis, to beef it up. Also, changing the subject, we have a 9/11 a church.
I apologize for not bringing that up.
You didn't bring that up?
But
Okay.
I did create a Calexico, City of Calexico 9/11 team, and I registered all of you.
Nice.
That's for the walk.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about the walk. I was talking about sitting down at church on
Saturday.
9/11.
Yeah. During the IVECA meeting with the fire chiefs of the Imperial County, Chief Rojodes, Tony Rojodes was there from Cal OES. A lot of the stair climbs are going away from, especially the big one in San Diego at the Hilton, are going away from using PPE, the actual suit. Why? Because they're pushing away from carcinogens. So big safety is cancer and how to minimize that, right? Because you have hundreds and hundreds of firemen maybe using a dirty turnout coat or pants and going up and down the stairwell 3 times. You start to breathe in some of this stuff. But even just getting away from using the PPE, a lot of the departments are just using shorts and t-shirt to do the stairs, which, but I did sign everyone up, so I hope everybody's been training.
I was talking about the 9/11 mass service that's done every year. It's a sit-down thing. So, are you aware? But we have a 9/11 mass at the Catholic Church done by the Knights of Columbus this 9/11 at 7 o'clock in the morning for everyone to attend. But we need the officers to attend, and as Chief Orozco is going to do a speech at the 9/11 mass. So now he knows. So we like to, hopefully everybody shows up and at mass. That's it.
Thank you. So I'll see you Saturday also for the state client. Just real quick, I know that we are, pressed for time. I want to thank the staff for starting the newsletter. This is the second edition of the newsletter that came out last week. I know that's another way to keep you informed. Please provide feedback. I know it's in the works, but the beginning product looks really nice, informative. So we welcome feedback. So please read it, share it, and provide feedback. Then also I want to inform you about Caltrans. As you know, 98 took a long time. But I'm glad that they were able to come back. As I told you, that they were going to finish up about the 200 yards of asphalt that it was in bad shape after they completed the third phase. So they came back, as you saw, they already got it ready. The only pending item that they have, and I know that it was expressed at the past meeting, is the landscaping. So the landscaping, they're going to go back and they're going to work on that also. They didn't give me a date, but it's already, on the radar that they need to come back, and they will do that. So I know I can ask you for patience, and I know that's sometimes what we have, not a lot, but they will come back and work on that landscape. Then also continue with celebrations. I know this is something that brings our community together. Grito Independencia is coming up, put together by our fellow Rotarians from Calexico, the city of Calexico, the Mexican consulate, and that will be on Saturday, September 14th at Crummet Park, free of charge. Go and celebrate, it will be a family event. Then also, just going back to what, city manager mentioned, about our meeting with Assemblymember Garcia. One of the things that I make sure that we express, and there is very good lead on this, that as we work in the New River project, that once it's completed, there is sustainability, because we always get excited. I said this before, and you know this, in building projects. But we rarely think about sustainability of these projects. So even though this project, it will be completed soon, but then what's going to happen a few years on the road? So we need to make sure that there is funding to sustain that, project. So that's in the conversation that we're going to bring back. Also, we're going to get with some of you from the Community Services Commission to revisit the Heber Park project. We talked to him and expressed also that interest of changing the scope of that project for now as we speak. He's willing to help us out, set up a meeting with the funder from the state, which was Parks, bringing people from Parks into that conversation so we can revisit the scope of work and make sure that we get that going. Also, I want to announce that next meeting I won't be here. I will be in Washington, D.C. At the White House. I was invited by the White House President Biden and the First Lady, quote unquote, an email to celebrate the annual Hispanic Heritage Month. So again, this will be paid out of my own pocket. There's no cost to the city. So, but I will be up there, and I will be happy to represent our community and our entire region. So with that, we'll move on to the next item.
Excuse me, Mayor. We have Council Member Romo would like to say something.
Okay, go ahead. My apologies.
Thank you, Mayor. My only comment is that we should discuss the issue of water at our next meeting. But con una resolución de cómo lo vamos a solucionar sin que la ciudadanía pague el problema que tiene actualmente la planta de agua. Un precio alto del agua ya lo tenemos. No puede la ciudadanía soportar algo más. Es importante tener en nuestra próxima reunión esta discusión, pero con un proyecto de cómo se va a solucionar, sin tocar al ciudadano. Ese es mi comentario. Thank you.
Thank you. She wants to bring back the water rates discussion through a resolution and make sure that we have that discussion, I just answered the question. I can't really engage, but anyway, so repeat.
I think you need to clarify what she said. She indicated that she does not want to pass on the cost to the consumers, which is us.
Okay, so you heard it from her, so that was on her own words. Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council from the City of Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agency, or Calexico Financial Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Does anyone want to remove or pull an item? And if not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I have a public comment
Oh, you have a
on item number 17 from Mr. Jesus Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Rose 1. The concern that I have on item 17, because it states that there's some records that are going to be destroyed. I also understand that there's a system, an electronic system that some of the records are preserved, but not all. Remember that on the last meeting, I requested this council that we need a forensic audit on the water system, okay? Especially on that overpaid increasement on salaries. And it was under the water and the sewer, I think it was like maybe, 4.5, a little bit over that in 4 years. So we need to know exactly how, when, and why that money was invested that way. And if it was justifiable, if it's justifiable, so be it, it's justifiable. And if not, we need to find out. And the other thing that I requested, that we needed to know exactly where, when, and how that money was invested in the water system. And on top of that, if there were any projects that were going to be rollover from that 4 years up to this new 4 years. And the reason I'm concerned is on the procedure of destroying the records, okay? I understand that there's a procedure how to go about it. This resolution was passed 2015, I think. And it also stipulates that it's run through the public works, the department heads and the city clerk. And then on top of that, they ask the approval from the attorney. But there we go again. I've seen maybe 6 attorneys. We don't know exactly what attorney is approving what. So if we had one attorney, then we can hold that attorney accountable. But right now, we have a firm. So do we hold the firm accountable on that, or which attorney do we hold accountable on that? That resolution needs to be brought up again, amended, or you need to put in another resolution how to go about destroying the public records. So I just want to make sure that this council is aware that none of those records that we are requesting for the forensic audit are going to be destroyed. That is my main concern, okay?
Thank you. Any more public comments? Ronnie, any more public comments? So without no more public comments?
Final comment. As it relates to this item, you're making one motion. Mr. Solano just requested that you pull that out. So someone needs to amend the motion because your motion is to approve as presented.
Thank you. So with that, Mr. Attorney, is there any?
Well, if the motion is to approve, then yeah, we would simultaneously approve of the items. If there's consideration to hear an item separately, maybe vote differently, then you'd want to pull
Right.
that item.
So I'd like to amend that. Yeah.
No, there was not a first.
No.
Sorry.
What's that?
There wasn't a first or a second. So you're making the motion. Make your motion with how you want to do this.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for that. Yeah, amend
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
your motion is to approve and then what?
Approve and then pull that item for discussion. Number 17.
So we're gonna go ahead and, is there a second? With, as motion by Mayor Pro Tem Moreno?
I go ahead and second it.
Okay. So let's do roll call on that one?
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thalinda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So that will be going under 19A. Yeah, to pull it for discussion. It will be 19A.
Yeah, Mayor, generally we hear it right now. If it's
Okay, we
pulled
do
from
it.
consent,
Okay.
we hear it right
All
now.
right,
correct.
so we'll take it right now then. So go ahead. Mr. Moreno?
What?
You pulled the item, are you going to speak on that or you just want to?
You want to talk about it? Yes. We made a motion to discuss it, right? We can talk
Yes,
about
go
it
ahead,
now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Solano, you and Mr. Rocha, you also commented on that. Okay? Right.
I think the appropriate action for you to take tonight is actually to table this item until you have plenty of time to review all the documents that are being proposed to be deleted or purged. Otherwise, it gives you opportunity, or actually table it indefinitely until there's an audit, you agree on something at a future date. Because otherwise, you will be deleting the possible items that can serve you to make a decision. So I highly recommend that you don't destroy them at this time.
Right. So Mr. Rocha, I understand with that. Just a little bit for the public, it's understanding. The court, before we destroy documents, we have to go to the court. The court mandates, right? And one of the things that they look for is, are you sure there's nothing like, and obviously, that's what we want to get into, right? Especially now that it was brought up with you two guys. And I allude to my attorney because I'm not an attorney, but I'm familiar with that. So maybe the attorney can tell us a little bit why it's important that this item was brought back for that reason.
Yeah, the way, there are laws on how long you have to retain certain records. Some of them specify 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, right, depending on whether the financial documents or not. So what the city does is every couple of years, it'll adopt a retention policy that stipulates for this type of record, it gets maintained X amount of time, and either you can destroy it completely or you have to, make it into a electronic document. So the law, so what happens is generally either a law firm or even consultants would draft a records retention policy that states what records can retain for X amount of time. Because generally the reason cities adopt this because otherwise cities end up with a lot of records, right? And the idea is to slowly try to reduce the amount of records they have to hold because it consumes paper and actually can consume entire offices. So under the city of Calexico's policy, usually a city clerk or department head will go through certain records and be like, okay, these records under our policy can be destroyed now. And then they review them, okay, they qualify, it's under the policy that's been adopted by the council, and then we as legal just sign off that, okay, that is consistent with that. Obviously, if there's sensitive documents or it might be litigation, we'll hold those off. But this is a standard practice that all agencies have. There's even some agencies where the ability to destroy doesn't even come to council. There's some agencies where the city clerk with the signature of the city attorney, can destroy documents under its policy. But ultimately, it's the city council's discretion. It's a policy adopted by the council, and the council doesn't feel comfortable. Ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do with this item tonight.
Okay, so now the public be able to hear and voice their opinions on all the topics that we're talking about before we make a determination on that.
That's why I'm telling you,
Right.
take the necessary precautions.
Right.
Because again, you're talking about a possible lawsuit again.
Right.
And your attorney should be guiding you on that. And by having multiple attorneys giving you multiple options, you need to have a clear and precise direction from your city attorney or your legal counsel. As far as making policies and following policies, we're telling you, look, this policy may create a conflict, and why don't we avoid it? Eventually, the records will be destroyed at a future date if it's not needed. That's what Mr. Solano told you.
Right.
So take the necessary precautions to, and it just happens that at the prior meeting he asked for it. This meeting it's being requested to purge those documents. Isn't it a coincidence? It lends a huge coincidence to us as a community members that just one meeting ago, we want to see the records, and now you're proposing to delete the records. And I'm not blaming you, council members, because you're not running the show. They are. Your city manager, your city clerk, your finance director, all interim. So we need to have someone that is going to give us direction, and we should follow what our community is telling you. I'm part of that community, and that is going to tell me what's going to direct me as to how I'm going to vote, if I'm going to support you guys or not.
Thank you, Mr. Rocha. Solano?
Yeah, that's my concern, and I believe, I understand everything that Mr. Campos stated, and for your record, it was Mr. Campos that signed in 2015. Now, my question is, has he validated all the records? I'm asking him, not his firm. Has he validated all the records that you guys are planning on destroying? No. That's coming back. Every meeting we have a different attorney, and when we ask the attorney something, he doesn't respond. I'll get back to you. Well, what happens? Next meeting, he doesn't show up. Somebody else shows up. So we never get a straightforward answer. And right here stipulates exactly everything that he says, but it runs through the department heads, through the clerk, and the attorney approves it. I want to know if he approved everything that's going to be destroyed. And my concern is for this council, and Mr. Contreras, make sure, because I'm requesting, okay, and I'll keep requesting it, a forensic audit of what's going on with the water department. So I understand that there's a policy and procedure about 2 years, 5 years, okay? There's also stipulates. This city has to hold the public records if any police officer or any fighter or first responder, if he has worked in hazardous conditions, it requests up to 30 years. So if you don't know, it stipulates right here. Okay? So I am requesting this council to table this. You have your policy and procedures. I understand you run business the way you want, but there's no rush in destroying papers when we have not had a forensic audit of what's going on with the water department. There's a serious issue there at hand. You need to acknowledge it.
We have another speaker, Mr. Jun Kim.
Excuse me, I just wanted to let you know the importance the Imperial County has been keeping digital records for a very long time, for more than 20 years. I wonder if we our attorney could counsel the city to also do the same. And we wouldn't be having this problem. And actually, just to let you know, that would protect you, because destroying the documents is only going to create a problem for you. So this is very important for you, to protect you. The problem was not you. It was before you. And please ask our counsel to decide if that is correct or not. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, point of order real quick. Mr. Solano, your request for minutes, what was the request for? Your request, I'm sorry, your request for minutes? Huh? No, I'm just, I know because Mr. Rochas talked about some minutes also. No, I'm just asking that because I'm gonna say something on that.
My request is anything that pertains to the water department these past years.
Okay.
Okay, that's how come I'm requesting the forensic audit. We need to know exactly what happened and why.
Right, so
it entables everything, minutes, whatever.
okay,
So be it.
right. So here's the thing. So I'm looking at California Government Code Section 14755. Obviously, the way we go about it is destroyed, but we have to have a court order and all that. But the city manager, here, the director, determines, has no further administrative, legal, or fiscal value. Now, you're raising some interesting questions that we don't want to go into the problem of being in violation, obviously. That's not clear to me either. Okay. So we're talking about it now. Now, here's even further. California Penal Code Section 832.5B as in boy, police departments maintain complaint records and so forth. Now, it gets more critical here. General city records, destruction retention statute, department heads can destroy records with approval of so-and-so, right? Yes. However, here's the caveat. Some records may retain indefinitely, okay? Including court records, real property title, liens records, minutes, ordinances, and resolutions.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry? Okay. It is under California Government Code Section 14755. Under General City Records Destruction and Retention.
Just real quick, just to be clear, no minutes, no resolutions, no ordinances are being destroyed. We have the original ones at the office.
Should I? Okay. It's a good question, a good sample. 2011, when I elected school board, I wanted to have a forensic audit about this Major J bond. Actually, we've been through the forensic audit. Guess what? What they answered, there's a lot of papers missing. So they cannot find who was responsible. So valuable documents supposed to be there. To anything wrong, they can find out. And they should digitalize to keep it in case it's getting longer. The city council, I urge you to table it, to change the ordinance to make sure to at least they digitalize for the future necessary or future responsible. And especially these water ones, I have a very suspiciously, maybe not council members responsible, but overall, about all the valley, they dumping the water a lot, not only Calexico. So what they mean is, I believe very suspicious consultant, the behind the scene, working on it. So somebody making good money from our pocket. They're going to enjoy it. I don't know, somebody got with them to enjoy together, I don't know. But a lot of our budget, the sending for $4 million, $5 million, every year they're hiding. So you have to look into to get ready for the forensic audit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alejandro Hernandez, 1420 Van Buren. Just a quick question. We're talking about these records, and one thing that Ms. Ibarra said, which was really interesting, was the county digitizes everything. If the county digitizes everything, why aren't we doing it? How much does it cost the city to have the lawyer look through documentation per hour? We're paying him. How much does it cost us when, I don't know, a terabyte on a cloud, having some city staff scan it, upload it, hold it for an indefinite amount of time? I mean, we're looking at costs here as well. I imagine that's why the whole point of getting rid of records, because of storage, maintaining them, whatever it may cost just to have them there. But just something to think about. Scan them, upload them up onto a cloud. It's going to be cheaper than having somebody review documents and then contract out to get them destroyed. So just think of that.
So now, after this discussion, was the pleasure to have a motion to, Mr. Moreno, since you pulled it?
I think we need further discussion. We can table it, probably look into this, what kind of records are specific like these. I know for me, I know it's, and I know the, Sandy Fonseca, our interim state finance director, said that the staff recommends blah, 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 to the list attached Exhibit A. But I don't see Exhibit A, I don't see attachments, unless I'm seeing it wrong. And I know what the statement was, that these records are the ones that are gonna be terminated. So it's all accounts payable, finance, okay? So, yeah, so either I'm confused or it's just not very well written, but I think we can probably look further into it, table it for further, with examination, obviously by attorney. That's my motion.
Do you have a second on that one? Motion?
Go ahead and second it.
Roll call, Ron?
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Rom, Councilmember Victor Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Now, I know we're getting, 10:20. So, yes, it was tabled. Number 19, authorize, now we'll move on to discussion of potential action items section of the agenda. Number 19, authorize acting city manager to sign amendment number 8 to the agreement of professional services in the amount of $175,000 with Michael Baker International to prepare the operation and maintenance manual for the new river improvement project, Calexico Reach.
Are you on 19?
Yes.
I have a public comment. No public comment. June Kim.
Okay. This entity, which is they're going to be hiring another consultant, and City of Calexico governments or school district is very famous to hire the consultant to hire the consultant. That's happening here. Why? Probably our staff doesn't know. And when I go to the last of the convention or some educational, I don't see nobody from the valley. Or Los Angeles or the big city coming in, our city staff doesn't go for any study or the improvement themselves. They don't go there. So they're not training. So they just hire the consultant to hire the consultant. Just like the water ones. Hey, I hope this entity, they have $4 million to just one page of the drawing how they're going to run the pipe. That's it. They paid $4 million for the, drawing the map. I was complaining on that with the federal the meeting together. They're saying, oh, the money is, they have money has to right to spending for the planning. Yes, for planning for the $4 million for the one page of the drawing the pipes. This is the entity. So I believe you, council has to be more detailed on it. Why we have the necessity to get consultant? Of course, they're gonna need to contract out someone gonna do it. Why we cannot do it ourselves? Why have to hire consultant to managing the project? So, as tax money,